for the annexation of these areas, raising the stakes in his confrontation with Ukraine and the West. Last week, the Russian president made it clear that any attempt by the Ukrainian army to take back these areas would be viewed by Moscow as an attack on the territorial integrity of Russia.
The BBC's Steve Rosenberg. South Korea's military says North Korea has fired at least one ballistic missile toward its eastern waters. News and analysis, townhall.com. Another measure of just how bad storm conditions are in Florida.
Waffle House is a chain of restaurants known throughout the South, basically a diner that's open 24 hours a day. But it's also used as a gauge to determine the severity of a situation. If they're open, all things are good. If they're closed, run to the hills. A former Federal Emergency Management Agency administrator coined the term Waffle House Index to gauge the severity of a storm and its aftermath. As of now, in Florida, Waffle House is in a state of code red, with at least 21 Waffle House locations closed. The index has 3 levels. Green means the restaurant has power and food. Yellow means a limited menu and limited power. And red means you should have left town already. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Vice President Kamala Harris has capped her 4-day trip to Asia with a stop earlier today at the demilitarized zone dividing North and South Korea. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday. Almost.
It's so much better than Monday. Like
Almost.
just rolling
It
off
is.
the tongue.
It's not quite as savory as Friday, but it's all right.
It reeks of Friday though, so it wafts.
It's
of
Friday adjacent.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
yeah,
right.
it is. So happy pre-Friday, everybody.
It's Friday's slightly older, less hot sister.
Hey, maybe we can get Congress to work on that. Change Thursday to pre-Friday.
Pre-Friday. Make it happen.
Or Friday Eve. We can't get Congress to do anything. You think
No.
it's going to happen? But,
No.
one can wish.
Every other day ends in day. Thursday ends in Eve.
Yeah. No,
Like it.
if you want to get something like, should we keep a TV show or something dumb like that? Oh, they rally the troops. But it's something important like pre-Friday. No one wants to get behind.
You really want to make a difference, you start a change.org petition. That's how you make it happen.
Yeah.
At least that's how I've been told.
Well, happy pre-Friday, everybody.
Yes.
Hope everybody's having a great day. You know, it really is we're pre-fair week.
Yes. It's the calm before the storm.
Unofficially, 24 hours away from the fair. Officially, a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
So, because today's pre-Friday.
It depends on how you fare.
Yes.
Like, what you consider fair.
That's fair.
Is it fair?
To be fair.
I try to be fair.
But, yeah, we're deep. We're fairly deep.
We get fairly deep.
But, no, actually, the fair unofficially gets underway tomorrow. They're going to have the carnival starting tomorrow and Saturday. Mm-hmm. The Longhorns will be a showing tomorrow and Saturday as well. They've got special Longhorn shows. Tomorrow night, they're all going to be gathering in the Livestock Show Arena. But Saturday, they're going to be at the Bob Crosby with the Longhorns. So if you've never watched the Longhorns before, come watch the Longhorns because they're fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're like 1,000+ pound animals with big, long boss hog front of the car horns on the side, and they're kind of squatty like bulldogs in cow and bull world. So they're kind of shorter than the others, but they're built like just walls.
They're top heavy.
Yeah. It's kind of like your friend that's like 5'2" and 6 foot wide and no one messes with. That's a Longhorn.
You get that dude with the gigantic belt buckle that says, "See, the power is in the going forward, not in the going backward."
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so they're going to be doing the Longhorn shows. And then Sunday, publicly everything quiets down. Privately, they're getting ready for the fair and moving in the animals and all that. And then Monday morning, of course, we'll have the parade beginning at 10 a.m. Monday, and then it's game on from there all week long. So, but
yes, sir.
If to get some pre-fairing tomorrow. Get your thing and
Carnival will be open also.
Yeah. Now what won't be open will be the commercial building,
the important parts,
the
the commercial building and all the good food,
education building, the local food vendors. The carnival will have when they come with their food vendors. Too,
so you can get your funnel cakes and whatnot. But I'm talking about the good food.
Chicken on a stick is my go-to.
You're hard pressed to find a good taco out there on a Friday, or at least this Friday.
Yeah.
Next Friday? Oh, the tacos abound.
Taco aplenty. Yes, but no, chicken on a stick's a safe bet. That's
chicken? I've
usually
literally never done the chicken on a stick.
When I hit their vendors, I go for the chicken. It's basically a giant chicken tender they skewer with a stick.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy, but it's fried chicken on a stick. How can you go wrong with that?
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Ever since you mentioned it, I have wanted one fair adjacent food more than anything else, and it was something you got on a Disney cruise. And it was
what did I get on a Disney cruise?
A gigantic deep fried bacon on a stick.
Yeah. That was in Disney World.
It was in Disney World.
Not
That's
on
right.
Disney
That's
cruise.
right. It was a giant hunk of fat back.
You might have trouble getting that today because of hurricane.
Deep fried on a stick.
It was.
I want one so bad. You described it as the greatest thing you've ever put in your mouth, and ever since then, for like years on, I've wanted that.
It was meat candy on a stick.
Exactly.
It was God's gift to meat. Maybe.
Do they?
But I had it at Disney World. It was ironically, I swear this is not a joke. They weirdly had it near the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Right.
We were walking down in that area, and it was kind of early, so it was pre-lunch. So it was not post-breakfast, pre-lunch, but I didn't eat anything. And so I'm walking, and they had a little thing that had coffee and stuff, and then they had meat candy, big giant bacon on a stick, and I'm like, oh, where have you been all my life? I'll take one of those.
Well, this is actually a little known fact. It's actually candied bacon on a stick that leads most people to become pirates. That's a lesser known fact.
Well, shiver me timbers.
I'm
Sign me
telling
up
you.
if that's what it is.
Ahoy, me mateys.
You know, if that's what it takes, I'll be sitting there going, yo ho, with a thing of meat.
Well, you know, they were
Pirates
talking
legs
about
for me.
salt pork for most of their journeys. That's basically what it was. That's their candied pork.
Well, man, that should be on the recruiting poster. You know?
Just one stick of slab of bacon.
We want you. Put the pirate on there with that bacon stick, and they'd be lined up around the building. All right, let me give you the rundown.
Yeah.
We should probably do a show today.
At some point.
Probably should do a show. Everybody's either mad or hungry now. You're like, damn, I want bacon. When's that fair getting here? But let me give you the rundown for today's show. Unfortunately, John and Dara Dana have been sitting here listening to all this for the last few minutes. But John Thompson and Dara Dana with the Republican Party of Chavez County going to join us here. John wearing a different hat today. Normally he's in talking shooting sports. Today he's talking Republican Party with us. So, So if you're like, John, that sounds like the shooting guy. The same guy? When he's not talking about shooting, he's in the Republican Party. So we'll talk with John and Dara and get an update about events and things they've got coming up.
Can we call him John Boom Boom Thosen?
Ooh.
I mean, bang bang Thosen?
Ay, bang, bang.
Or John Boomstick Thosen?
Hey, when all your buddies give you a hard time today, it's his fault, not mine.
Like, boom boom!
That's right. He's like, you call me what you want as long as I don't miss dinner. Right? I'm here.
As long as you check my name at the poll.
That's right. So Dara Dana and John Thosen will join us here in just a few minutes. Next hour, my guest couldn't make it. They called late yesterday. So in its place, we're going to replay our interview. Dr. Yang, instructor at the New Mexico Military Institute. She is she's like a real life Sheldon Cooper, but not weird like Sheldon. She's a physicist by trade. And but no, they're her and her husband are once again hosting their big STEM camp, STEM Fun Weekend, or not weekend day, October 1st next week. They're going to have out at Stappfield and actually in the Pearson. They're going to do a big science show, and they want to invite families to come out and do all the science stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But we'll play that interview for you here in the 8 o'clock. And then if we didn't wet your beak with all that bacon and fair talk earlier, we're going to have some folks from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair join us in the 9 o'clock hour and give us an update. We've talked longhorns and livestock and all that. So my guess is we're probably going to talk more parade and entertainment today. That's probably my guess. But
you know what?
We'll find out when we get here.
I got to tell you, the fair be sleeping on the real heavy hitter. So everybody's talking about Colby Cooper Friday night, the big headliner. Thursday night, Frank Ray's coming to town. If you're familiar at all with country music, there's a song right now on mainstream country radio called "I Bet Country Look Good on You." Okay. And Frank Ray is the singer-songwriter. He's actually responsible for writing several songs for Jason Aldean, Carrie Underwood, So
he's kind of a big deal.
He's kind of a big deal. And he's the lead-up. He's the penultimate to Friday night.
Okay.
So come on out. Friday. It's Thursday night, 6 p.m. Or 7 p.m., I believe. Frank Ray with Bree Bagwell.
And here's the cool...
And Bree's amazing.
I love Bree. Cool caveat with the fair and everything. All the concerts they do, that's included
free with your
price of admission. So when you buy a ticket to come in and ride the rides and eat all the food and whatnot, you're automatically got a ticket to the concert there. So and like Sean was saying, these people, especially Thursday and Friday night, these guys are already on the radar. So pretty sure we're not going to be able to book them again because they'll be too big next time.
We had Kane Brown right before he broke huge. We had Luke Combs right before he got massive. I mean, we've had the opportunity to have these people come through our town before they break big.
Yeah, so if you miss them this week or next week, odds are the next time you try to catch them, you're going to pay about 60 to 80 to maybe more money to just get the cheap seats tickets.
I've said the same thing about Sundance Head, which is why I'm glad he knows me by name. I'm going to hold him to that.
So what do you call him, Mr. Head? Or
Mr.
what?
Head, absolutely. Yes, sir.
So tell me, Sundance.
Every food vendor in that place right now is trying to figure out how to make bacon on the set.
Well, if you need a test tour, I will volunteer. I will sacrifice my services for that.
I like it.
So
I will too. I'm one up on it. I'm a certified barbecue.
My doctor might be mad, but I'm in. John's in too. So me and John will be official at Dara, and Sean's going to.
I'm going to be there.
Sean will eat anything.
Just for the story.
Well, what could possibly go wrong with a story that starts with bacon on a steak?
Oh, man.
Miss Dara Dana has facilitated some of the things that I've eaten. I believe she was responsible for the donut burger I consumed at one point in time.
Oh, I've had one of those myself. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm such in good shape, and people are surprised to eat something like that, but, you know. All right, it is 7:17. Yes. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather. Thank goodness. I was talking about how boring our weather is yesterday. Thank God for boring weather. I'll take it today. All those folks over Florida? Yeah. They're getting more moisture than even we want at this point. But here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look good for the next couple of days. High pressure will hang out in the Four Corners and also over western Texas. We've got dry air in place, and that means sunshine for us today. A little bit breezy, especially in the afternoon. Our high should top out in the mid-80s. Overnight, a few clouds and mid-50s, and then for Friday, mid-80s and sunny, mid to upper 80s and fair for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 57 degrees. By the way, I love this time. It's so nice when I get out of here to go to work, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, it is 57. Matter of fact, our Modesto, a guy who kind of keeps everything organized here, I usually see him like every morning when I'm coming in. He's either, sweeping or taking care of something out front. And so I was like, I just looked into it. I said, why can't I just like all day be like right here? And Apparently they don't agree with me, but yeah, it is 57, real nice. Enjoy it. Go do stuff in the morning if you don't normally do that. It's kind of nice out. Humidity currently at 49%. Winds are calm at the moment. More of that just boring weather I was talking about. If you like sunny and mid to upper 80s, then this is your Shangri-La. Sunny, high of 87 today with south winds 5 to 10 this morning, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 56. South winds 10 to 15. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tonight. For you Friday, sunny skies, high of 88. Should be good weather if you're going out to the fair or out to the Wool Bowl for a little foosball tomorrow night. For Saturday, sunny, high of 87. Winds out of the south 5 to 15. Sunday, sunny and 85. And then when day one officially of fair and, well, work and everything else, we're looking at sunny skies, a high of 85 once again Monday. And, I told you, it happens every time. Wednesday, they've now said 20% chance of showers. Mostly sunny, high of 81. And take heed of that 20% because next week is Fair Week. It's another one of those Murphy's Laws. It always rains at least once during the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. That might be it on Wednesday, so be warned. I've been here long enough to know how the tides turn around here, and bold prediction, we're probably going to get rain on Wednesday. So, all right, it is 7:19. Let's take a 3.5-minute break, and then we'll officially have Dara Dana and John Thosen joining us in studio from the Chaves County Republican Party. That's up next. Don't go away.
Come check out a favorite fall family attraction in Artesia at Heirloom Acres Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch. Get lost in the 8-acre corn maze. Pick a pumpkin straight from the patch. Take a ride on the kiddie zip line. Indulge in one of many tasty eats from the concessions and enjoy roasting s'mores around one of our campfires. Come out weekends in October to Heirloom Acres, located 1 mile east of Artesia on Highway 82. Heirloom Acres, where you're sure to find joy this fall. Paid for by Eddy County Lodgers Tax.
I'm State Representative Greg Nybert. New Mexico ranks 50th in child well-being, and this statistic is not acceptable. Too often we see in the news where a child taken into state custody is returned to an abusive situation only to suffer more abuse, sometimes resulting in death. Chaves County is not immune. Chaves County CASA and its staff and volunteers understand the system and where things go wrong. I have met with CASA to understand how we need to create a better system of caring for abused and neglected children and to break the cycle of abuse. I listen to local experts and then engage the state agency at the highest levels. I will support legislation to bring about positive change. I ask for you to vote for me, Greg Nybert, to allow me to continue to be your effective conservative voice in Santa Fe. Voting begins on October 11th and Election Day is November 8th. Please vote Greg Nybert for State Representative District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
When Fred Rogers, better known as Mr. Rogers, died, it was said that in his wallet was a piece of paper that read, "Life is for service." With the recent passing of Queen Elizabeth, many have paid tribute to her, describing her life as one of duty and service. Yet none can compare to the life and example of Jesus. In Luke 22, Jesus said, "I am among you as one who serves." Perhaps no greater example of servanthood is modeled than when Jesus washes the disciples' feet, an act of humility and love. Jesus never placed himself in a position above others. Instead, he healed the sick, fed the thousands, and spent countless hours with those society had cast away. Ephesians 2 reads, "We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." God has a unique plan for each of us to serve him in this world. Just like Jesus, God designed us to make a difference with the lives that we have been given. Join us at Country Club Road as we strive to do just that.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The season rolls on for your Roswell Coyotes, and coming up this Friday night, your Coyotes are back home at the Wool Bowl, squaring off against the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com has got you covered with every second of the action. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista, Friday beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and now we can officially say joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Republican Party. Of course, we have County Commissioner Dara Dana and John Thoson with us. Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Morning, Mike. Doing good.
Doing good? Well,
Yes.
So I guess I don't need to say this, but are you guys ready for the fair next week? I know after all the fair talk and everything. Don't forget, as always, you can come out and meet a lot of folks from the Chaves County Republican Party. They have a booth every year out at in the commercial building at the fair. And usually throughout the course of the week of the fair, you can pretty much meet just about every Republican candidate for state office on down that usually make their way through here. Even governors tend to make it.
They do, especially the biggest day is Monday after the fair parade.
Okay.
So
yeah, a lot of them are probably
a lot of them go through, and they go out and hang out for a few hours at the fair booth, and then we'll have all local candidates, your local elected officials.
Yeah.
Especially because
those folks usually probably in and out all week. But
yes, I will be.
Dan's like, that'll be me, and I'll be there all week.
From 4 to 7, and the dinner special is not fried bacon. So,
but it's a brand new booth, thanks to Dara and Mona.
Yes, we've been working. Eric Call is our county chairman, and they decided to do some work on it. We had to replace a floor panel. Oh my gosh, it was. When they pulled
so
up
much
that
pacing.
floor,
That's what it is. It's all that pacing.
It is, and pulling up that floor panel, I was, all my DIY. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's beautiful, slip black down there," and we can do. And Eric just looked at me and goes, "Go away."
Like we can preserve this.
Yes, exactly. I thought so, but he said no.
What'd you find under there?
Well, there was a few interesting ketchup packets and all sorts of weird stuff.
Quite a history lesson there.
Well, we all kind of sat there and analyzed it, like how old is this ketchup packet?
That was a good year for ketchup packets.
Yes. But it's painted. We have air conditioning,
which is a godsend out at the
well,
Eastern New Mexico
we're calling
State
it air conditioning, but it's 3 wonderful fans that'll be oscillating the whole time. It'll make a huge difference.
And yes, all things considered, that commercial building is one of the cooler, as far as temperature-wise, places and buildings usually at the fairgrounds.
It is.
So it's always a good place to cool off when you hit that point where you're like, man, I need a lemonade and some shade here.
Yes, and that's how it usually is. Everybody just comes through to see. You have to get your ceremonial yardstick. We'll have those out there. Greg Nybert will have those for us and everything.
Deal.
But, it's a great time to meet everybody with the party and meet your local legislators.
Absolutely. And ask those questions that you have.
Yes.
This is your
chance.
It's
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I tell everybody it's the toughest week you'll ever love because everybody's out there. Voter registration. We will have people out there. Registrars is what they're called.
Yes.
And they will be out there. If you're not registered, if you are 17 and you will be 18 by the time November 8th comes, you can register to vote.
Excellent.
Yes.
So you can get ahead, get it early that way.
Get it done and over with.
You
Yes.
have your birthday, and then one of your first acts as an 18-year-old will be to register to vote.
I think it'd be great. And then also, too, if you've moved, a lot of people, that's not a priority. Maybe they
but it really is nowadays.
Moved into town or they moved across town. Go ahead because, especially with the new congressional districts, you might have moved out of one congressional district into another. So
odds are, if you lived here and even if you didn't move, odds are you're now in a new congressional district.
Yes. So be sure and find out which congressional district you're in.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. And
matter of fact, I had, obviously all of us were in 2 before.
Yes.
Then I realized, and as I was looking, I thought, I was like, oh, well, now I'm in 3. And then I started digging, like, no, I'm in 1.
Yes.
So,
yes. My daughter is in 1 on East Pine Lodge or West Pine Lodge, and I'm in 3 down in Dexter.
Yeah.
And then the Boot Hill is 2.
Yeah.
And that's it. So
it's quite confusing if you're not
It's very
paying
confusing.
attention.
So, be sure and educate yourself, too. They'll have sample ballots coming out, so you can request a sample ballot and just look and see. You can get online, Secretary of State's office, and see sample ballots and go, okay, who's on my ballot this year?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people walk up to the precinct judge and go, wait a minute, so-and-so's not on my ballot. I thought they were. Well, they're not anymore because of redistricting.
Yeah.
This was a huge year for redistricting.
Yeah,
so.
and love it or hate it, it is what it is.
It is what it is,
so
yes.
we have to deal with that. As a voter, the best you can do is educate yourself on who's in your district and who you need to vote best for.
And make sure you're registered to vote. That's one thing that John and I are doing, is making sure that people are registered, that you have the opportunity to register to vote.
Now, if you're not registered to vote and you're ready to do it now, you don't have to wait till next week at the fair to do that. You guys are there's lots of opportunities anyway. You can go to the library or something like that and do it, but you guys are offering some events here coming up too.
Yeah, we've got a real interesting day planned tomorrow. we're gonna be at all 3 of the gun stores, of course. So
all right.
See, I'm still involved with the guns, and before I forget, we are raffling a really nice gun at the fair.
All right,
it's gonna be a
John Thosen approved.
Yes,
John Thosen seal of approval.
Yeah. Actually, it is. I told him,
he's like, hey, lying. That is
your life, get a good quality gun, you'll sell more tickets. But anyway. What better opportunity than going to a gun store, register to vote if you're not registered, and maybe buy a gun or
absolutely
have all kinds of fun. So
or just get some accessories. If you're like, my wife won't let me buy any more guns, or my husband won't let me buy more guns, so I could buy some cases or some accessories to go with.
Just bring cash so you're not checked anymore. The credit cards are telling everybody when you buy a gun. Yes. But we're going to be at Blunt's Gun Shop from 10 in the morning till about 11:30 tomorrow, and then we're headed over to Zia from 12:30 to 2:30, and then we're going to go to Larry's at 2:30 to 4:30.
Okay.
And we'll have everything you need to register to vote. And it's really funny. You'd be surprised how many people aren't registered to vote.
Well, and let's face it, I think we have a sect of society that's disenfranchised with the whole process, and I understand.
Yes.
It's like I have compassion and understand what you were feeling. I get that. Right. Unfortunately, your solution isn't the solution to fix that. So we have to do something about it. Unfortunately, I know it is in human nature to kind of play ostrich and bury our head in the sand and pretend the problem's going to go away.
And it's not.
It's not.
This is your number one defense. I tell people all the time, this is your number one defense, by voting.
Yeah.
And getting yourself educated. As a person who has won a race by 5 votes and lost by 13 votes, I will tell you that every vote counts. And we had...
Did you start calling? I got to stop.
Oh, no.
Did you call friends? Did you vote?
Oh, no. I had the 13 people call me when I lost. They went on a trip. 13 people went on a trip. They got back and they found out that I'd lost by 13. Every single one of them called me and said, we usually vote absentee. We usually vote before we go on this trip. We plan this trip. And they each, all 13 of them said, it's our fault. Well, we did it. We usually do it.
We're joking in jest. Yeah. It is true. It is that important for you to vote like that. It's
very important, especially if you're kind of looking at a candidate. Don't just take, they'll win by a landslide or whatever. And it's like, no, if everybody says that, then no. And then I want to be able to say on November 9th that we did everything in our power to get everybody out to vote. And that's why we're working very hard. John and I co-chair the voter registration committee. And Eric Hall is doing marvelous as a county chair, trying to get all these committees together. We have also a young Republican group, and they're going to meet tonight at 6:00 at Sweet Baby J's.
Okay.
So if you're a young Republican or just a young person going, okay, I've never been involved in politics, what do I need to do?
Learn.
You don't have to be a registered Republican. Just come and look and see what.
If you're young and have a concern for your neighborhood, your county, your country.
Right, your country, yeah. And it's at Sweet Baby J's on the corner of, what is that, 3rd, 4th Street and Main Street.
I'm bad at that.
I am too. I can drive. It's right across from the courthouse.
Yeah,
I'll do the man thing. It's right across the street from the courthouse. You should know where it is. But yeah, that's tonight at 6:00. So if you want to meet some great young Republicans that we have heading that up.
Does young at heart count? Like, wouldn't you be like, I'm 32.
I'm not going to say what I am, but I am an associate member.
So
they let us older people be associate members. We always have.
It's like, gray hair, get out of here.
Yes, exactly. I always tell our young Republicans, I'm a warm body. I can come stand here and be a warm body.
That's right.
Plus, it's Sweet Baby J's. So
right.
I can have a cupcake.
Sweet Baby
I
J's.
can have a cupcake.
That's right. We're eating sweet treats. We're all young at heart.
Yes.
So,
but that way, if you've never been involved, it's not intimidating. We, come in, ask questions. We can register you to vote and just kind of let you know what's going on. But this is important. It's very important. Everybody has become so lax these days.
Or complacent,
and we hosted a voter integrity event at the museum a while back.
We had
and
the folks coming on talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we had Republicans and Democrats. We teamed up because even the Democrats are going, gosh, you got to get out and vote, guys.
Sure.
Don't be intimidated by that machine. That machine is a counter. You have counters at banks. Banks count money. Every place you go,
you probably encounter a counter
count.
20, 30 times a day and
yes,
don't realize
you do.
it.
Yes, you do. So that's all that is. It's a tabulator. So when you put your ballot in there, we wanted to show voter integrity and make sure that the voters are comfortable. Because I've heard it before. My vote doesn't count. I'm not going to vote. And it's like, yes, we have to. We have to vote.
And this is kind of the dangers of, politics sometimes.
Yes.
Where the campaigning gets to a level of where you're like, all right, come on now. It's ridiculous. And now, but let's face it, between COVID and everything that's going on in the world, people trust anything any politician says about this much right now, and so that's good. That's why you had this event, because at this point, like, look, we our credibility here is for most people, we need to reestablish that.
Yes.
People have lost faith in the system, and that's a problem.
Yes, it is a problem, and we've heard of course we've heard problems.
Yeah,
but let me tell you what, we have a wonderful county clerk and her staff. And they go to trainings. They know the election law inside and out. And John has helped at our polls in the past. And if there's a problem, it's going to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
And that's the thing I always like is, and I've said this, and like when we had Cindy Fuller on multiple times here, our county clerk, for those that aren't familiar, And yes, you hear across the country and the voter stuff and all that, but I can tell you and assure you, here in our neck of the woods, there are some great people that will never ever let that kind of shenanigans go on here in this part of our area of the woods here. Lucky. So I have complete faith in the people that we have running these things in our county and our part of the country here, that I've never questioned that integrity here, and I hope others feel the same way about that. So, right. It's just they do it by the book. They go above and beyond to make sure that everyone has as much access, equal. They really go out of their way to do that kind of stuff. So, I hope people trust in our folks a little better, because they're salt of the earth, just trying to do their jobs and doing it right. So.
But if you want to come see us tomorrow,
come visit
John.
Basically, if you hang out at a gun store at all tomorrow, you're going to see them.
What
at some
better
point.
place? You'll be safe.
Just hang out at your favorite one all day and you'll see them.
What more could you ask for?
But if you got a busier day, give out those times at the stores.
Okay, we're going to be at Blunt's Gun Shop from 10 a.m. to 11:30.
Okay.
Then we're going over to Zia from 12:30 to 2:30. And then we're going to Larry's from 2:30 to 4:30.
Okay. Now I have a question for you.
Yeah, we're going to Antigua afterwards.
Actually, that was not my question. But good call on that
there
one.
you go.
Do you have to leave your checkbook and your wallet at home tomorrow? Are you not allowed to hang out?
Well,
I just got a feeling.
I just got the text. Yes, he does.
I just got a feeling he's like,
he does.
do not let John buy anything at any of these gun stores. He's got to sit and work.
Otherwise, Paula gets a purse. That's how it works at his house.
Okay. I walk in most of the gun shops now, and they say, "Oh, your wife just called. You can get anything you want."
Yeah, right.
Problem is, John's like, he's got a tab at everyone. He doesn't need his wallet. He walks and says, "Put that on my tab."
Just about.
Yes. Or they call him going, "We got something. You got to come down and look at it."
Yeah, he's like, "This ain't my first day. I've been here before."
True. Yeah.
But all kidding aside, folks, at the very least, we want you to be aware, understand, get out and get active, think, ask questions. Please take this next election seriously.
Yes.
Let's face it, the world we live in, the things that we're seeing and going on in this world right now, this makes this upcoming November election that much more important. I say it every time. I know as members of the Republican Party.
Every time, but let me tell you, I'm with you. This is
as members of the Republican Party, obviously
point.
You guys want to vote conservative and things like that.
Right.
But and I always put my personal life, I lean conservative myself, but from my position here, I always say, people, do your research, do your education, and if you have legitimate reasons, things that you're passionate about that you're voting for, I will never have a problem with the way you vote, as long as you're giving me real concrete reasons why you think that candidate's there. I don't want to hear stuff like, well, they're a Democrat or they're my sign.
Oh, no.
They have many signs.
I've heard,
that's the stuff I don't want to hear. I want to hear, I like them because they do this.
I've heard great things like, oh, she's cute. Oh, she wears good shoes. With me, I had one guy tell me when I first ran, "Oh, I like your name, so I'm going to vote for you." And it's like, you don't even know where, you don't know me. So let me tell you about myself first before.
Let me hear what you're getting into before you pick Darren.
But that's what's so nice about the fair booth. And people come out and people you haven't seen in forever. You know, it's like, it's getting back to normalcy for the world, it feels like, so our candidates are out there, our elected officials are out there. So, that's what's so nice about Chaves County is we're not far away. We're not in D.C., you know. And
we're far enough away from the Beltway where some normal things still
wonderful.
happen.
I've served in Santa Fe, and people thought, "Oh, you live in Santa Fe." No, I live here. I live here in the district. So you'll see me at the grocery store.
Sure.
You'll see me usually at Midway Trash, not looking my best. I've had that happen. I wear a hat and sunglasses, and I'm throwing my trash away.
Recognize you.
And and they're like, "Oh, Dara, how are you? Let's talk trash." And it's like, no, I'm just trying to throw my trash and get out of here. So
I can empathize with that, because that's me. It's when I go through like the drive-through and I order like this grossly huge order, and all of a sudden, "Are you the radio guy?" It's like, no, that's the other guy.
No, it's not me.
The radio guy eats much more healthy than this.
But
isn't just the trash place. You can't go anywhere in this town and do anything with Dara where people.
Yeah, she can't get around places without getting stopped a bunch of times.
Yeah, but I like it. That's what's nice is politics are local, and this is very local. And I love being on the county commission because it is so local, and people know that they can call you about issues or talk to you about issues. When you're in Santa Fe, they're a little more standoffish because they don't know if you live here or you live there, or is this an issue that's state or is it local?
Sure.
And that's kind of nice too when we're out at places, is talking to people about the issues. What are the issues that you're concerned about? Is it local? Is it state? Is it national?
Right.
And then first thing we'll ask them is, are you registered to vote? Because it's very important.
Sure.
You have to.
And I've had similar conversations with our state legislators, and they kind of echo what you're saying. It's, when they're back here in the district, people talk to them, and but when you get up there, it's a different animal.
It's horrible. I served when Gary Johnson was governor, and we at least had his veto pen.
Yeah.
And when Susana Martinez ran, I said, you better get Gary's veto pen because you're going to need it. But that's kind of what we're looking for now, is trying to get a little more help, because they come home and they're beaten up.
Sure.
They're just, it's so partisan.
Yeah.
When we still had the coalitions when Bobby Corn was up there. They still had the coalitions. Now it's not. There's a dividing line. It's my way or the highway politics, and that doesn't get anywhere with anybody. So
absolutely,
it's sad.
I'd like to invite folks to go back. What's today? Thursday. I want to say Monday or Tuesday this week. We had House Minority Leader Jim Townsend join us on, and
Rebecca Dow.
Okay.
And we talked a lot with the state and what they are dealing with on that side of things. So if you want to kind of hear more of what Dara's talking about, go back and listen to that interview, and you can get a little more insight from Jim Townsend there. So.
Well, it's sad. Like I said, we used to be able to work together. We all had the same goals at that point, but it was just trying to get to that. And here's an amendment that'll do this. Here's an amendment, and let's work on it together. But now it's just so polarized.
Sure.
It's sad. Our legislators, if you talk to them, you have to wait 2 weeks because they're at home in bed because they're just dead to the world.
Yeah, they're comatose.
But call them and say, how was it? And they just, oh my gosh, it's horrible. They've never seen it so polarized.
Yeah, they literally go up there and be punching bags.
Yes, yes.
It's rough.
It is.
So we got to give them help. But
yes, we do need to get them some help because this polarization has got to go away, both in Santa Fe and in DC.
Sure,
we've got to work together. We have to get back to working together, and that's why we always emphasize voting. If they hear from us loud and clear by our vote, then they'll stop that stuff.
Absolutely,
they will stop. They'll go, wait a minute, because I used to say it all the time with our senators and our House members when I was up there. Our constituents don't want you voting that way.
Yeah.
And I was told many times, well, they don't see this. And it's like, yes, they will. Because I'm going to go home and tell them how every single one of you voted, because this isn't right. You don't go up there. As Rod Adair, Senator Rod Adair said, you don't talk like John Wayne in your district and then go vote like Don Knotts when you're in Santa Fe. That's just dumb. That's
Don
just
Knotts.
dumb.
I was getting thrown under the bus. I'm just kidding. But you're right. It's one of these things where, let's face it, we all saw what happened in this state. All COVID, everything.
Yes.
Everything has been happening in the last 4 years here. We've seen it. Do you want more of that? And if you do, then you vote status quo. If you don't, then make changes.
The phone calls I got from business owners crying to me, Dara, I just got a cease and desist from a state police officer. Tell me, watching me lock my business up.
Where did that?
This. It's so
critical.
Yes.
Exactly.
Look at the percentage of the people that vote. It's pathetic.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's what's killing us.
When you got 26
going to vote,
30%, and it's not just here; it's everywhere. It's apathy. It's a shame. So that's why we're doing this to change things. You've got to get registered to vote, and you've got to vote for the candidate like
absolutely,
that supports your values. And
so please use now and election day, but that time to educate yourself, to get your I know early voting will start here like the 11th, I think. But
yes.
But don't early vote if you don't know who you're voting for yet. Wait until you're confident in all that. Do your research. Come out to the fair. Come to these events. Come go to the Democrat side. Listen to everything they have to say too, because you got to make that decision and hear all sides. So hear it all.
Right.
I would like to just another opportunity. The Chaves County Federated Republican Women. They meet the third Wednesday of the month, and every one of those they're bringing candidates either locally or statewide for you to meet, talk to, discuss with. They'll have another one here in October. Be at it and listen to those candidates and things too. That
way, know your candidates.
When you do go to make those decisions, you can confidently say, "Well, I think that's the person for me.
Well, and with so many outlets, I mean, if you haven't received information on anything in this day and time, shame on you. Are you living under a rock?
Yeah, you're trying to avoid
because
it.
there's so many. Yeah, but you can get sample ballots now at the county clerk's office. They are available down at the county clerk's office. So you can go in there, and if you don't know your precinct, that's okay. They'll look it up by your name.
Yeah.
And okay, let me have one. Let me sit down and take it home. You can take the sample ballot. This is a sample ballot, and it'll have everybody that's going to be on your ballot. And you can research every single candidate from this ballot and go, okay, I heard about so-and-so. Well, let me look them up. You know, they've got websites. They've got social media pages. You can look them up.
And please use this to separate the fact from fiction.
Yes,
because
please. There's a lot of disinformation.
Well, that's just it. I just
there is.
You can't turn on the TV in the evening when you get home from work now, and then you see the political ads, and I'm just seeing the dumbest stuff like this person doesn't believe 9/11 existed. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
Are we really telling people these kind of things? I'm like, this is, and you know, this person wants to kill your babies. And I'm like, what is this about? I mean,
push grandma off the cliff.
Yeah, it's like it's just one of these things. You're like, really? I mean, and unfortunately, there are people gullible enough to believe these things.
Yeah, there are.
Yes,
and that's
it's
the
sad.
scary part. And
It
that's
is
why
scary.
you need to do your research and be like, did they really vote that? No.
Right.
It's because
That's
what
true.
they'll do is it's all done. This is not a Democrat and a Republican. It's just the
everywhere.
lay of the land.
Yes.
They'll take a statement out of context in a speech that once you hear the other sentences in front of it make complete sense.
Right.
But when you hear that one out of context, they'll turn into a political ad and say, he wants your kids dead, or he wants this, or whatever it is they're trying to say. He eats children. You know, whatever it is that they put in there, and you're like, come on.
Well, as most of you know, New Mexico is truly at the fork right now on the road. And this election is probably one of the most important elections for New Mexico in a long time. And that's one of the reasons we're so involved trying to get people registered. The future of New Mexico truly is up to this election.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't get things right, it's going to be years before we might have the opportunity to do it again. So,
Well, and whatever you're involved with, shooting sports. John and I do shooting sports.
Yeah.
We do a lot of other things that we're involved in and stuff. But what is the future of shooting sports?
Sure.
What is the future of some other things that are out there? And the candidates, be sure and talk to the candidates. Okay, we hear there's legislation coming up or maybe introduced in this next session. What are your thoughts on it?
and what's the
how would you
of
vote?
our doctors here? You know, we
Yes.
got some
Oh,
legislation
my.
that passed a couple of years ago. Is why
Yes.
we can't get and keep doctors here. And
Yes.
Which, as you can
It's
see,
sad.
is kind of important to have.
Very important because, you know, we have always in Chaves County kind of recruited seniors to come because of our beautiful weather, things like that. But now all of a sudden we can't get doctors and nurses and dentists and dental hygienists. What's going on with that?
Absolutely.
So we're going to have to really work on that.
Well,
I
just,
mean,
and it's just professionals in the state of New Mexico in general.
Right.
We're not the first choice for anybody
No,
because this
we are
state
not.
doesn't make it welcoming for people like that. We need to fix that.
well, and we do it. I mean, my kids, my oldest daughter's in Phoenix, and she keeps saying, "Oh, Mom, we want to move back to New Mexico." But what is there for us? Yeah. And so we're working on the commission with the EDC, trying to partner with Eastern New Mexico University out there and kind of train some people up. And we're even talking about it with law enforcement and detention. People,
yeah, because they're doing the
officers,
same.
because they're recruiting, but yet, so okay, let's look at a program and have interns and kind of go in there and see if we can't train some of these people up and go, hey, we were thinking about 4 or 5 different areas: law enforcement, detention, dental, nursing, stuff like that. And letting them shadow and go to different places and say, hey, is this something that you would like? Well, no, I didn't quite like that. Okay, tomorrow we're going to the hospital and you're going to shadow in the emergency room or in whatever and stuff like that. so they can make the choices right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Vocational. I took auto mechanics. We used to do vocational in high school. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So we've got to start somewhere and train people up.
Absolutely.
And give them a career and a career choice and an opportunity.
And we need to quit being last on the list and everything good and first on the list and everything bad. And the only way that's going to happen is to send different people to Santa Fe. We can't keep voting for the same people and expect different results.
Exactly. I said it the other day, and we're running out of time, so maybe we'll end it here, is New Mexico has been run by one party since it's been New Mexico.
Yes.
Since 1912.
Yeah.
And as long as I've been here and long before I was here, as John was mentioning, 50th, 49th, and crime, education, all these lists.
Right.
Every pretty much bad category it's bad to be number one in. We're right in that. We're in the top 5 in every one of them.
Right.
And I'm just saying, you put the same people in every time, and none of these things change.
Exactly.
Whose fault is that?
Right. Right.
Is it the one that keeps doing it, or is it the one that keeps putting the people in that expecting different results?
Well, the first line is getting registered. And John, where will we be tomorrow? Because I don't remember.
At a gun store.
You want me to go over once more?
Do more time.
Okay, we'll be at Blunt's Gun Store from 10 a.m. in the morning to 11:30.
Okay.
Then we'll be at Zia from 12:30 to 2:30, and then Larry's from 2:30 to 4:30.
Perfect. Come by anytime or during those times at any of those stores. Get registered, ask questions,
buy a gun,
do some shopping.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, they might have some county commissioner specials. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and I think if you haven't been in any of those stores, you're probably going to find a lot more in there than you realize it was in there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you're thinking, well, I don't have a gun or want a gun. Okay, but guess what? They sell other stuff.
And we can,
and you probably like that
and
stuff.
we can talk to you too about maybe plugging you into one of our shooting sports stuff.
You know what? If you're looking for training and education, there's some qualified people there to put you in the right direction.
Exactly.
And we need some more trap shooters, skeet shooters,
Which, by the
all
way,
sorts of
I
stuff.
recommend if anyone's interested in being in firearms and wanting to pick up as a hobby or sport or any of these kind of things, that's your first thing. Walk down and talk to these people. Because before you think about buying a gun or doing any of that stuff, talk to people. Talk to them. Let you shoot with their stuff and get you. That way you can learn because that's the problem. Gun ownership is a responsibility.
It is. And you can come out to the trap club. You can come out to the ski club. There's always somebody there. John's very good when somebody comes up and they're new and hi, how are you? I'm John Thosen. Have you ever shot before? No, I haven't. I'm very intimidated, especially women. Very intimidated. Well, come see what we do. Come.
Absolutely.
John's trained in firearm safety, so we can get you plugged
will
in.
Change once you go through some formal training and some kind of understanding.
It is so much fun. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
I tell women all the time, it beats being at home doing dishes and laundry. So come on out and shoot with us.
Well, anytime you get an opportunity to do for yourself, as opposed, you know what I mean, to learn to do something for yourself. That's a better thing, and it's a good thing. So.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Now too.
Absolutely.
Self-defense. You need to understand firearms.
Yes. We live in a world where everyone wants everybody to do it for them, and if you can't do it yourself, you're going to find you're in trouble real quick. So.
Right.
Again, come on out to a gun store near you tomorrow. Definitely come out to the fair, and of course, if you have any, don't forget if you have questions or want more information. The Republican Party of Chavez County, they've got a Facebook page. You can shoot a message out to them. Someone will get if you want to think, hey, I want to go get involved with a campaign or something.
Right.
They'll put you in the right touch with the right people to do all that stuff. And of course, bring your questions out with you to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Come out, whenever you're out at the fairgrounds next week, make sure you pop into the commercial building, visit the Republican Party booth there, and talk to some of the candidates.
And tonight at 6:00 at Sweet Baby J's, our Young Republicans. We really are trying to get this organization up and running because they're helping us a lot. And this old dog's tired, so I'm trying to train up a new dog.
You want to sit on the porch and yell at kids to get off the
I do. So come on out tonight at Sweet Baby J's at 6:00 and
bring your
learn.
sweet tooth.
Yes, and learn what our young Republicans are. If you're young or old, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
We take you all. We take everybody. That's what I tell them. we will take you, throw you in there, and not let you out.
Young at heart.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you guys. We'll see you
Thank you.
next
We
time.
appreciate it.
Anytime. It is 7:57. Let's do a quick break before news. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Keep Roswell Beautiful and the Roswell Hispano Chamber of Commerce are inviting volunteers to help clean up the city. The target area for this year's Roswell Community Cleanup on Saturday, October 15th is Pokhorn Park and the Hondo River Trail. The event will take place from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Cleanup supplies will be provided, things like gloves, trash bags, grabbers, and safety vests. And there will also be meal coupons handed out for use at local restaurants to the first 50 volunteers to complete the cleanup. The Sandpoint landfill east of Carlsbad is reporting a significant increase in the amount of overall waste entering the landfill. Eddy County officials say the increase is likely because of increased construction projects. The landfill is a joint operation of the city of Carlsbad and Eddy County. It sees trash from the city of Artesia as well. The latest data shows 27,000 tons of trash from Carlsbad in June, 32,000 tons in July, and increasing to 36,000 tons in August. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
The VA reports 149,756 military veterans living here in New Mexico. What doesn't get reported much are steps to improve their quality of life and honor their service. Did you know that major improvements are coming to our only long-term skilled nursing home for New Mexico veterans? Back in July, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $60 million for upgrades and new home-like residences at the state's Veterans Home in Tier C. And she cut New Mexico's income tax on military retirement for the next 5 years. She's invested millions of dollars towards veteran cemeteries, a new Vietnam memorial wall, and towards the construction of a new Navajo Code Talkers Museum and Veterans Center in New Mexico. And she approved major upgrades to the Baton Memorial Park near Silver City this year, too. As the daughter of a military veteran, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is a champion of New Mexico vets they can count on. Let's keep her.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Ian isn't done with Florida yet.
This storm is having broad impacts across the state.
Governor Ron DeSantis saying catastrophic flooding extends hundreds of miles from where the Category 4 hurricane made landfall in southwest Florida. Now a tropical storm, Ian hammering away at central and eastern Florida.
You're looking at potential major flooding in Orange and Seminole counties, St. Johns River, all the way up potentially into northeast Florida and Jacksonville. The amount of water that's been rising and will likely continue to rise today, even as the storm is passing, is basically a 500-year flood event.
More than 2 million Floridians are without power. High water rescues are ongoing, along with efforts to get food and water to the storm victims. Among the major infrastructure damage, a large section of the Sanibel Causeway has collapsed. GOP Clearwater, Florida Mayor Frank Hibbard tells Salem radio affiliate WGUL Radio in Tampa he credits divine help for sparing his town the worst of this storm.
We made through this as good as we could. I think the man upstairs was on our side. He was looking out for us, and for all intents and purposes, Captain, we're very lucky. We dodged a major bullet.
Now, once the storm moves out over the Atlantic, forecasters say it could regain hurricane status before heading north, menacing coastal Georgia and the Carolinas. Storm surge remains a big concern. Slammed by surging consumer prices and rising interest rates, the U.S. economy shrank at a 0.6% annual rate from April through June. On Wall Street, stocks are sharply lower so far this morning. Right now, the Dow is down 502 points, the Nasdaq off 287, and the S&P trading 77 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at KeyCityCapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
A Rwandan man accused of encouraging and bankrolling the country's 1994 genocide refused to attend the opening of his trial at a UN tribunal.
Felicien Kabuga is accused of being among the masterminds of the genocide and of setting up what's been described as one of the most powerful weapons in its execution, the radio station that was used to mobilize one ethnic group, the Hutus, to take up arms against another, the Tutsis. He's also suspected of aiding and abetting the death squads by using his status as one of Rwanda's most wealthy businessmen to provide them with the machetes used to kill more than 500,000 people over a period of 100 days. The presiding judge told the court Mr. Kabuga is well, but has decided not to attend the opening day of his trial or watch the hearing via video link.
That's the BBC's Anna Holligan. Russia positioning itself to formally annex parts of Ukraine after occupied areas held a Kremlin-orchestrated referendum. Townhall.com. Looks like Russia is beginning to crack down on men trying to flee their homeland.
Long lines of Russian men who are trying to escape being called up to fight in Ukraine continue to clog highways out of the country. And Moscow reportedly set up draft offices at borders to intercept some of them. A Russian region that borders Georgia, North Ossetia, restricted many passenger cars from entering Wednesday, according to Interfax Russia. A day earlier, authorities there announced plans for a draft office at a border crossing where cars and pedestrians have lined up for days. Another such checkpoint was reportedly set up at the Finnish border. Tens of thousands of Russian men have fled. Keith Peters reporting.
Northeast Florida now getting the worst of Tropical Storm Ian. Recapping the hour's top story, more than 2 million Floridians have been left in the dark, no power. Crews just about to begin the monumental task of getting the lights back on. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome, or 8 o'clock, sorry. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
It's Monday adjacent. Mornings with Mike Winters right here at 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yeah.
Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Yeah. Swimmingly well.
Indubitably.
Yes. Hopefully all is well in your world today.
I had somebody say the phrase or the word abstively to me the other day, which there's only one correct response to the word abstively. Do you know what it is?
Go for it. I do not.
Positively.
Positively.
Absolutely, positively. It's an old Little Rascals reference.
Oh, okay. In my head, I heard Ned Flanders do it.
I can't remember who it was that did it, but he says absolutely, positively is the way it's delivered.
Yes, in Little Rascals.
The movie version, specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the movie version, which it's funny because there's a certain generation of people who grew up on Our Gang, the TV show, obviously a much older sect, who enjoyed Our Gang and the Adventures of the Little Rascals.
Yes.
But those of my generation, of the 30s, mid-30s to late 30s to early 40s even, they grew up on a completely different Little Rascals that still stood the test of time. It was one of those like crystallizing movies that like everybody saw. It was like a part of like the zeitgeist of our childhoods.
And I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Really?
I don't think I have.
It's hard to say
because that was what, 90s when that came out?
It was 90s,
and
yeah.
at that time I was like, I'm too cool for Little Rascals.
And I understand
I'm in the 20s, you know what I mean? I was like,
but it was sort of like, and my parents loved it. My mom specifically loved it because she was a fan of the Little Rascals originally.
Yeah.
And so to introduce me to things like the He-Man Woman Haters Club and the whole Froggy with the wave, all that stuff, it became like a thing again for like my generation. We were like walking around going, I got $1, I got $1, I got $1, hey, 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 hey. It was a huge thing for like our generation.
Right. Now, see, I'm just a little older, so
sure.
For us, I grew up to the old Little Rascals because they weren't doing that by then. These guys were.
It was syndicated reruns.
Yeah, it was old. They were old adults, and some had passed by the time, even when I was a kid.
Right.
And but because we had 3 channels to watch, we didn't have cable and all that when I was that age. You know, there was 3 channels. You know, and that was depending on the antennas that day. You know, how good the signal was. But and so when you're a child of 5, 6, 7, 8, and you know, we were of a generation where here's the TV.
Yep.
Put you there, we'll see you in an hour, you know, whatever.
An hour.
You get through. You'll see it next week.
You see it like tomorrow. Yeah. That was a big part of my childhood.
So you know, it's 8 in the morning or 9 or 10 in the morning or whatever. You can watch like Price is Right, Stories News, or whatever was on like Channel 20, and it was usually like Little Rascals or My 3 Sons or I Love Lucy and then so I watched all of those because that's what there was to watch. So as a kid, I remember growing every afternoon at like 3:00, turning on to watch the old black and white Superman with what's his name? The one I can't remember his name now. The guy that was Superman and
it wasn't Christopher Reeves. That was the movies. That was
way.
Okay.
This is the old TV show,
right,
black and white. And matter of fact, I think he ended up killing himself. Like the actor that played that Superman. I can't. Something kind of tragic happened.
So you're saying Superman can die?
No, it was something tragic happened to him, like suicide or murdered or something not natural, and I don't remember exactly off the top of my head.
Let's find out. Let's find out.
Yeah, that was so. I grew up watching that 3 in the afternoon. I'm like, I remember going to my grandma's bedroom with a French bed pizza and turning on her TV.
George Reeves.
Really? Thank you. Yeah, George Reeves.
It's just funny that Christopher Reeves became like the known Superman.
Yeah, George Reeves.
Any
That's
relation?
the name. I don't think so.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, but anyway, so I go into my grandma's bedroom.
Wow.
And she had the old 13-inch black and white, but it had to warm up. So when you turned it on, it spun. The picture went
and it had to track.
And then and then after about 2-3 minutes of that, it would settle in and get going. But so I'd turn on the TV about 10 minutes before 3, get my French bread pizza going, or Grandma would cook it for me, and then as soon as that, I'd sit down, watch Superman, and eat my French bread pizza with George Reeves.
George Reeves. I have this thing in my hand that can instantly like make a left turn in this conversation and slam into a brick wall. So I'm gonna hold off on that for a second because what I was gonna say is when I was a kid, it's funny because I remember that we didn't have a lot of like stuff. Like we were broke for most of my childhood. My dad was going to school, my mom was working like 2 jobs, and we didn't have a lot of money. What we did have, I think a lot of it came down to because they couldn't afford a babysitter, was cable. We had cable. Nickelodeon was literally my babysitter for most of my childhood.
Cable didn't show up in my world to about 84-ish,
right?
In my parents' house.
They sprung. I mean, it was a big spring, and honestly, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to assume because I know my dad and I know how his brain worked, we probably stole it. We probably stole the hell out of that cable because I do remember for several years later, for a good solid 2-year run, we were stealing cable and doing a great job of it too. The statute of limitations is passed; it's fine. But boy, because we were like right up to the pole, we had the splitter, the whole thing. It was we had everything. It was great. It was real good.
Yeah.
But
different time.
But yeah, we definitely had cable growing up. Anyways, what I was gonna say.
So did my thing get all destroyed or?
Yeah, the thing that's going to drag this thing into a brick wall is George Reeves died of a gunshot wound to the head in the upstairs bedroom of his home in Benedict Canyon between 1:30 and 2 a.m. on June 16th, 1959. In contemporary news articles, Lemon attributed Reeves' alleged suicide to depression caused by his failed career and an inability to find more work. The report made by the Los Angeles police states that Reeves was depressed because he couldn't get the sorts of parts he wanted. Newspapers and wire service reports quoted LAPD Sergeant Pearson saying Miss Lemon blurted, "He's probably going to shoot himself." A noise was heard upstairs. She continued, "He's opening a drawer to get the gun." A shot was heard. "See? There, I told you so." Wow. So apparently he was living with somebody and they said, he's probably going to shoot himself in the head. See? Told you so.
Well,
wow, that's dark.
Someone was being right, and that's what's important, that you were right there, huh? Well, at least you were right in that situation.
I mean,
thank goodness. But, I knew it was something bad. I just didn't know all the details, so I knew it was something bad. I just remember it was years ago hearing it and all that. So my brain's still working.
I want to know the conversation that happened before that happened. Like, she said something. She's like, "Oh, you might as well just go kill yourself." He's going to do it too. Watch. See? What? I'd be staring mouth agape at this woman. Just what?
Well, it was the 50s. People acted differently then.
People, 4-pack-a-day cigarette habits. It was a different era.
Yeah, they thought smoking was good for you still back then. So,
what do I look like, a Mary? Of course I want cigarettes.
Healthy people smoke Tarlingtons. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. And my guest that originally was going to come in rescheduled. Can't make it. They called late yesterday to reschedule. So that freed up some time. So we're going to play our interview we had earlier in the week with Dr. Yang, professor at New Mexico Military Institute. Her husband, Dr. Tang, also a professor at the Institute. They host the STEM they did a STEM camp with all this fun stuff over the summer. And they're going to do a big STEM Fun Day October 1st at Stapp Field and at Pearson Auditorium. So Dr. Tang and Dr. Yang.
I'm impressed that she kept her own last name. Like, she didn't go with a hyphenate.
Well,
Dr. Tang Yang.
And I'm not sure, and this is where my Chinese, like the names, like, because like if you look at Facebook, Yang's like I don't know if it's first name, last name. I know there's some, I know they different. And
it's
and I'm not
educated.
Yeah, I'm just not educated enough to know how that works, but it's something like that. But and maybe it's I don't know, but yeah, they're married, but it's Dr. Tang and Dr. Yang, and so but they're doing the STEM thing, and they're basically Caltech people, like like when you watch Big Bang Theory, they're Leonard and Sheldon, and this is they're real life versions of that.
It's so funny. That show has really like stood. It's become like almost the Seinfeld of a generation, where like that show will just be on.
Yeah,
you just turn on TV and it'll just be on.
Yeah, it's on all the time now.
It's so funny though, because they tend to show like the same 7 episodes, and I know this because I was going to watch wrestling last night, and right before is the Big Bang Theory. It leads into Dynamite on TBS. And the most iconic scene, in my opinion, in the entirety of Big Bang Theory, the ball pit scene.
That was one of them, yeah.
That was, the whole Bazinga, and that was how the episode ended. But it's funny, I see that, I've watched very little, like I've actually never sought out to watch the Big Bang Theory. It's just been on, so I've
seen
watched
every
it.
episode, so... Yeah.
But I've seen that scene like 1,000 times. And it always makes me laugh, too.
I think it's just dumb luck. You happen to turn on the TV at the time that episode's on.
Maybe.
Because they equally show a lot of the other ones just as much.
It just makes me laugh because in that scene, that is the most un-Sheldon Sheldon has ever been in his entire life.
Yeah, because he's no way Sheldon would actually get in that ball pit.
In a ball pit. Ball pits are the most disgusting things on the planet.
Yeah, that one is... and that one was the writer screwed up his personality on that one.
It's highly un-Sheldon.
Yeah. Well, there's if you watch long enough in that show, or you catch some writing errors.
Yeah.
Like now I'm going to do a whole dissertation. I'm just going to do one example.
Okay, fine.
One example, and then I'm moving on. We got to get the interview played. But like one of Sheldon's quirks is he's got to do, penny. You know, he's got to knock three times. That didn't start up till like season 2.
Really?
Yeah. If you watch the first season of that show, he's not doing that. He just knocks on the door.
He could have just picked up that quirk though later. I mean, because as someone who is OCD or has a tendency to be OCD, that you can pick up quirks later in life,
but the
just
level
through
of
like circumstance. Like if something happens, like 3 good things happen because of a certain thing you did, you're going to start doing that thing.
But the
you're
level
touch
of
a screw before you go over a railroad
quirkiness that they put him in, I feel like that would have been long established before. Like, because his personality's different in the first season. Like, he's a little more with it in the first season. Like, understanding, like, relationships between men and women.
I think the first season was mostly about, like, Penny and Leonard.
But if you notice in that
focus on
writing,
the Sheldon aspect of it until season 2. And that's when you started kind of learning more about, like Kuthra Polly and about,
he's not nearly as quirky in the first season.
Right.
That comes later. All the stuff like, I got to do this, do that. Like even like his knowledge of like he was pretty more with it with men and women relationships in that first season because he was talking with Leonard about relationships and stuff. And then as he got farther in, he's more and more unfamiliar with, love and those concepts and things that like you seem to know at the beginning of the series.
He unlearned.
That's just one of my observations.
Unlearned for the purposes of storytelling.
But anyway, it is 8:19. Like I said, we're going to play that interview with Dr. Yang here in just a minute. But before we do that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look good for the next couple of days. High pressure will hang out in the Four Corners and also over western Texas. We've got dry air in place, and that means sunshine for us today. A little bit breezy, especially in the afternoon. Our high should top out in the mid-80s. Overnight, a few clouds and mid-50s, and then for Friday, mid-80s and sunny, mid to upper 80s and fair for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 46%. Winds currently calm at the moment. Sunny today. Expect a high of 87. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 this morning. They'll pick up 10 to 15 for this afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 56 degrees. Winds out of the south 10 to 15. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tonight. For you Friday, sunny, high of 88 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 15. Should be good weather for football and Farron tomorrow night. Friday night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 57. South winds 5 to 10. Then looking at the weekend, sunny, high of 87 for you Saturday. South winds 5 to 15. Sunday, sunny skies, highs expected to reach 85 degrees. And more of that for Monday, especially since I guess kids and everything will be off school on Monday, at least here in Roswell for the fair day and all that. So weather should be nice there, 85 and sunny for day one, officially, of the fair. All right, it is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's take a 4-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Dr. Yang. She joined us early in the week from the New Mexico Military Institute, talking about their big STEM Fun Day on October 1st. That's up next. Don't go away.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist, and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
When Fred Rogers, better known as Mr. Rogers, died, it was said that in his wallet was a piece of paper that read, "Life is for service." With the recent passing of Queen Elizabeth, many have paid tribute to her, describing her life as one of duty and service. Yet none can compare to the life and example of Jesus. In Luke 22, Jesus said, "I am among you as one who serves." Perhaps no greater example of servanthood is modeled than when Jesus washes the disciples' feet, an act of humility and love. Jesus never placed himself in a position above others. Instead, he healed the sick, fed the thousands, and spent countless hours with those society had cast away. Ephesians 2 reads, "We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." God has a unique plan for each of us to serve him in this world. Just like Jesus, God designed us to make a difference with the lives that we have been given. Join us at Country Club Road as we strive to do just that.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, Representative for House District 59.
I'm Greg Nybert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative. Richard Taylor, Treasurer. Exciting news from Richland Motors on West 2nd in Roswell. Here's Richland Sales Manager Freddie Souza to tell you all about it.
Hey, Freddie Souza here, and our lot is finally full. We have both new and used vehicles with a wide variety to choose from. Whether you want economical or top of the line, we have it. And something we haven't seen in nearly 2 years, a large selection of brand new trucks straight from the factory. And Richland Motors is one of the only dealerships with zero markup on new trucks. So hurry in today to Richland, because we're not sure how long they'll last.
Make your way to Richland on West 2nd in Roswell for your next vehicle. Se habla español.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
Rush, play fake, bootleg to the right.
Only heard here.
Looking to throw it in the end zone.
All season.
Leaping catch. That is Noah Brown with his first NFL touchdown.
Sunday afternoon, it's your Cowboys and the Washington Commanders.
Live from AT&T Stadium.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Sunday at 10 a.m. on your Dallas Cowboys station. 92.9 The Brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
5 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the New Mexico Military Institute, we have Professor Dr. Yang back with us, who teaches physics at the New Mexico Military Institute. Good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Great to have you back here again.
Thank you.
First off, how's the new school year at NIMI going for you and your husband and everyone? Is everyone getting settled in and getting to classes and getting into life at the Institute?
Yeah, it is kind of busy.
Busy?
Yes, busy.
The
cadets are doing really well. And it's very nice to see them back in uniform, after summer, see those kids back on campus.
Getting back to the normal routine, so to speak.
True, yeah.
And then, of course, there's always this time of year, you get some new cadets, so there's a few still kind of learning their way around and getting lost here and there and getting used to the way things are at the Institute. So they're all getting settled in and getting into the routine. So that's good, including the professors and everybody else, too.
We have some new hires as well in the division. So
how many years have you and your husband have been a part of an MMI?
I started working at NIMI since 2009.
So over
About-
10 years now. So
yes.
about 11, almost 12 years now. So.
13.
And you and
14
your
this
husband came together?
He stayed home to help me a little bit. So
Okay, so
after
he
2
came a
years-
little later.
Like 2 years later,
Okay.
2011.
Now, did
He
y'all
joined
come
me.
from Indiana when you?
Yeah,
Okay.
we come from Indiana.
I know you went to University of Indiana, or you or your husband, or both. I'm not sure
Both
which
of us.
did
Indiana
to go.
University.
Very cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you end up in Indiana, of all places? Because you're from China originally, but
Yes, we, after the bachelor, we finished the colleges, we
Mhm.
say, we're going to, explore a little bit outside. So we apply for several schools.
okay. And Indiana said, "We'll take you," and you said,
Yeah.
"Well, let's go to Indiana."
Yeah, he was accepted by Caltech, but he didn't go because I was not accepted. So
Oh, well,
yes.
you wanted to go to. Were you already married or dating at that
No,
point?
kind
or?
of like in a serious
Sure,
relationship.
you were
yes,
you were
yeah.
you were a couple at that
Yes,
point.
yes.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
know, and everybody knows,
Yeah.
especially when you're young, in
That's
that
true,
in that
yeah.
area,
Uh-huh.
where you are together is more important than
That's
where you, you know
yeah.
what I mean.
Uh-huh,
And so
yeah.
that's great. So
Yeah.
every time I think of Caltech, though, all I can think of is the TV show Big Bang Theory, because that's where they
Like all those geeks,
yeah,
right?
yeah, they're all at
Nerds.
Caltech there. So your husband could have been one of them. He could have been
Yeah.
right in the mix there. You never
He looks
know.
like a nerd, don't you?
him
think
and,
so?
him and Sheldon could have been best buddies.
Probably not.
Probably
not.
not.
Not that good. Yeah, but he had the chance.
Well,
yeah.
good
Yes,
deal.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So now, fortunately, it all worked out the way it worked out, and Dr. Yang and Dr. Tang are here at the New Mexico Military Institute, and they, like I said, for 10 years been teaching science here at
Yes.
the institute. But you guys, I know we promoted your first real STEM event here back over the summer here.
That's
you and
true,
your
yeah.
husband have put together. Well, it was a big success, and October
think so.
1, we want to invite families to come out and be a part for not only STEM, but a STEAM open house. So we get to add an extra letter, which means now instead of just science, technology, engineering, and math, we're going to throw a little arts
That's
into the
true.
open house event this time.
Uh-huh.
So good deal. So I'm guessing you guys had success the first time and said, well, let's do it again and expand on it a little bit here in the
Yes.
fall.
Yeah, the summer is like a camp of 7 days long camp.
Gotcha.
It's very intense.
Mhm.
From morning 9 o'clock.
They
to all the way
live,
to
breathe,
100.
sleep, eat
Yes,
science for that
That's
week.
true. Yeah. And this one is, I thinking we are just gonna do a big one, just for the community.
Gotcha.
Because the community have been supporting us so well, and I think we, as of this point, we're gonna do a little bit of outreach program. We did it anyway, but
Yeah.
this one is a bigger one.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna do We're gonna do an outreach program to the community.
Okay.
And showcase our educations, the leadership this cadets has. Those cadets are gonna lead the activities.
Okay.
So
this is, I mean, yes, you and your husband and everything are there to oversee, but
That's true.
the cadets are the ones that are
Actually-
running the curriculum, running the actual program.
That's true.
Okay.
Yes, and they did an awesome job. Whenever they're doing those, I see them a different side of the cadets, because I already see them in the classroom. How well they perform academically.
Mhm.
But when I do the event like this, I see how well they're performing on the other side. Not
Okay.
just academic skill. They cares and they shows that they lead their future leaders, show the potential as a future leader.
Some of the human qualities, not
That's
just the
true, yeah.
science qualities.
That's
here.
true.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And they're really patient with those little kids, and they're really excited to show the academics or the STEAM part of aspect of to the communities.
Okay.
They're really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's what this whole event's about. Is we, we have a bunch of kids that are going to be going into a new world with new opportunities and new technologies
That's
and new
true,
things
yeah.
like that. And it's going to take this generation of kids to carry that baton on to the next level, to push the boundaries of science, to learn more and to understand more. And you got to get kids interested
That's true.
for that to happen. And so hopefully they come out here on the 1st and see one of these cool experiments or see something that really just captures their interest. And next thing you know, they're like, I want to pursue a career in science. But maybe it's not a physicist per se, but maybe it's a doctor or an engineer or some kind of inventor or something like that. They're going to get excited about science, math, and arts, and people that are more art-centric might learn science through arts. And
they can use some advanced technologies to help with their creations.
Yeah.
A lot of people do digital artworks. So
that's kind of a more
technology behind it.
Sure.
I always think science and the arts, they're connected because they're all critical thinking.
Sure.
You cannot just... You have to have sparks to your mind.
Sure. Something's got to inspire or motivate you.
True. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So I think they are all related. So a lot of activity is art and this, technology integrated together. So for example, we have one activity. I'm not going to say a lot, but one of them is we have a robots. We're going to control the robots, do artwork, some piece of a paper.
Okay.
Yes.
So incorporate, here's robotics doing art.
That's true, but
Very
you
cool.
Control the robots to do the art.
So the creative's still through your mind.
That's true.
It's just you have a fancier pencil to make the art happen.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we have a lot of those technologies out there. We're going to connect the arts and the STEM together.
Cool.
So that's why there's a new trend right now.
Well, and I think it's great because, I think we know that people don't learn the same way. And some can sit down and you hand them a textbook and they read the book and they understand it. A lot of us don't absorb as much information that way. We may get some, but you might miss critical points. Where others may learn it through being shown or
visual learner.
Visual, and then others, it's like, no, you got to give me the puzzle. Let me explore it, and I'll figure. And so arts kind of helps people that don't learn in that visual or traditional way of picking up. Here's something, read it. Now you know what's going on. For people that don't comprehend well that way, I think arts brings in a way for them to comprehend and things that maybe works a little with their patterns and their thought process versus way other people think.
Yes.
And so I think that's great because it brings science to people that may have not thought science was something they're into, if that makes sense.
Yes. Kind of we want to boost their interest.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're little.
Yeah.
So at least they don't know what is a STEM about,
Sure.
STEAM about. So maybe later when they grow up, they can choose a career pathway along towards this direction.
Well, and let's face it, you get a group of kids and you start hitting them with mathematical equations, they're going to get glassy-eyed and look at you like, what is she talking about? X is a number.
Yeah, they're going to confused.
But if you say, all right, these equations build this cool rocket or this robot this thing, then they're like, okay, so I got to know this so I can make this robot or make this thing. And so it gives them a point of reference to say, why do I need to know these equations and things? How am I ever going to apply them into anything I do in my life? And it's like, well, if you want to make this robot someday, or if you want to understand the concepts of why that rainbow's doing its thing, then you're going to need to know these things that we're talking about here. And so it gives them a reason to understand the complex, if that makes sense.
Yes. And the event will at Staff Field. The flyer sent it out before it says the Pixie Field.
Yes, it's going to be at Stapp Field.
Yes.
The event will be from 1 to 4 p.m. October 1st, which is, what day is the 1st?
Saturday.
This Saturday. This upcoming Saturday.
Before the fair.
Good deal. So, so we won't miss fair stuff. You still go and get your fair
I make sure
and everything
that's
else.
not going to interfere with the fair.
Didn't want to compete with the fair. Probably a good idea. Yeah, you'll probably lose. You'll probably lose.
I'll definitely lose. Yeah, because all the cadets were going to be doing the marching there.
Yeah.
So I won't have any cadets
and then that day ends in funnel cake and corn dogs and stuff like that, and you can't compete with funnel cake.
No. The fair food.
That's right.
I request some food trucks there, so hopefully
get a few that'll show up.
Yes.
And, we'll see if we make science. It'll be like, hey, we're going to learn how to make your lunch.
Okay. Where's lunch?
That's right. Yeah. First, we got to make it. Come on in. Let's do science. But it's going to be the big science show. It's going to be there at Stapp Field, October 1. 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes.
It is a completely free event, doesn't cost families anything. So bring the whole family down. Come and enjoy all the different events and activities. You're going to be. So, are you doing stuff in the Pearson also?
Yes.
Okay.
We, Dr. Tan and I are going to do a 30 minutes science show.
Okay.
Yes, but some have some sound effect, big sound effect. I'm not going to say a lot of this, but some,
don't want to give it all
yes,
away. But
yes.
Okay.
We did it once with Mr. Castillo at the zoo a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it's pretty fun. So we're going to do this time on the Pearson Auditorium.
Okay, your own little twist of it.
Yes,
there.
we're going to make an announcement. It's roughly around 2:30.
About 2:30. Okay.
Yes, we'll make an announcement when at Staff
But
Field.
if you're at Staff Field there around 1 and you're doing the part, you won't miss anything. They'll say, hey, if you want to go to the Pearson for
then
the
go
for the show.
It's only like 30 minutes long.
Okay.
So after that, they can come back to the
And you might
Staff
be ready
Field.
for air conditioning at that time, depending on how warm it is. I think it's supposed to be like 87 or something.
Oh, really,
so,
that day? Ooh,
yeah, so
okay.
By that time, you're probably ready to get inside and get some air conditioning for a little bit.
Yeah,
and, you know, when you're tired of trying to find shade outside there.
Yes,
so.
that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, if you bring the whole family, as far as ages appropriate, like what's probably the youngest kids?
Oh, we do the K to 12.
So kindergarten on through high school can come and come
Yeah.
in.
We
They're
have
going to
all-
take something from this. And
Yes,
enjoy.
all kinds of activity for. I think even in like 3-4 years old, there's still some they can try.
Okay, so even some of the more rurudimentary
Yeah,
stuff.
we have some
and-
bubble stations. We
like-
have oblique pool. So
Come here, preschoolers. We're going to do algebra. No, not that far. But
no, they're not going to. Yes, we're gonna some activity. They're gonna have fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a lot of fun, and that's the great part about it. It's like I remember as a kid watching. This is showing my age a little bit, but like Mr. Wizard was a show that was very big when I was a kid, and Bill Nye the Science Guy is more of a modern version or those type things. But I remember as a kid, it was Mr. Wizard, and Mr. Wizard was just a man. He was on Nickelodeon, and he would do his science, and he would take like the potato clock or all the different projects that kids would do and do all that on TV. And I remember love watching that show. And I think
fun.
This is kind of like a live in person, much more exciting version of that where you guys get to do it. And so I think we're missing some of that in our youth today. So come bring them out, come let the kids. Hopefully what happens is they find their new interest, their new, if you've got a young kid and the world's their oyster and they're looking and they see a firefighter, it's like, I want to be a firefighter. And then they see a scientist and say, I want to be a scientist.
Yes.
And so that's the idea is bring your kids out, show them some of all the cool stuff, let them partake in the different shows and experiments. And maybe by the time that they're having interest and next thing you know, they're online reading about various science projects or various STEM-related stories. And
they might
knows?
want to launch a rocket.
Yeah. Next thing you know, your child's growing up to be some kind of engineer or physicist or an architect or something in the field, in the
they're going to
sciences.
build the rockets. They're going to launch their own rockets.
Or geologist or whatever they're going to be. They might just get the bug.
Yeah, they need to see what it look like.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. I think a lot of people realize there's a lot of cool jobs in science.
Yes.
And a lot of adventure and explore. I mean, it's not, all just the
teachers,
sitting,
professors in the university.
People
There's
in
all
rooms
kinds,
thinking and talking. It's more than that. It's doing and practicing and getting, sometimes crawling to the darkest parts of the world to learn, how it's made and how it's run. Sometimes it's, getting on a rocket and going to space and learning how. But that's
true.
all, all paths to do that kind of stuff start at events like this open house right here. So please come make some time on Saturday. It's from 1 to 4. Now, if say they got soccer or whatever kind of practice and they can't make it till 2, is that okay if they come a little late, or as long as they come anytime from 1 to 4?
as long as come anytime from 1 to 4.
Okay, so
yes.
if you can't make it quite at 1, no problem. You can come a little later and still have some fun and get to participate and do everything. And
we have like about 12 activities set up there. We have water station on the Staff Field. We have a viewing stand. We have some water station right there. So we're thirsty, we can have water.
Sure,
right there.
nice little water hole there to break and kick back and and reflect about the signs you've learned so far.
That's yes, yeah. We're gonna have a tent set up there, so it's pretty
nice little cool off
obvious
area
that-
and things. Yeah. So, and don't forget, everything's free of charge. Doesn't
Yes,
you don't?
no,
All you need to do is bring yourself and your family and come on out ready to have some fun. You know, maybe
the food truck. You have to pay for the food.
right. Bring a little money if you want some food. Obviously, some sunscreen.
Yes.
That, you know, things like that to protect yourself in the warm weather. But other than that, good to go. Have some
Yes.
fun. Be ready. And like you said, this is for kids kindergarten through 12th grade. So
Yes.
and maybe if you've got preschoolers, no problem. Bring them
No
along.
prob-
There's
yes.
going to be fun stuff for them to do. It won't be over their head either. We'll make it
They'll
enjoyable.
enjoy the show, I think.
Yeah, and conversely, if you have your high school kids, there's going to be stuff for them too.
Yes.
Don't because you know how when they get to that age, 16, it's like, oh, that's not cool, mom. That's not cool, dad. You know. That's,
Or come to check out NIMI. NIMI, a good place for high
if you're
schoolers.
looking
Yeah.
for opportunities to see what NIMI offers, that's a great opportunity to come to the open house on Saturday.
Yes, we're
And,
going to have an information table as
Are they
well.
going to be doing like some campus tours and things like that for families or?
Saturday, I can request. We can sign up.
If
there.
someone wants
we have,
one,
yeah,
we'll
we have
figure
a
it out.
sign up paper right there. If
Okay.
somebody wants to do a tour, we can
Got
definitely
to set
do a
that
tour.
process up and
Yes,
say,
we need
hey,
to
I want to.
collect the information
Gotcha,
first,
sure.
and then we can send an email out or call the parent.
Yeah, so if
they
you're
want
interested
to.
in checking out the campus and seeing what the either the high school, the junior college can offer your family,
Yes,
there will be people that will be happy to help you with that.
Yeah,
kind of
we
stuff
have
there,
a
too.
great sports team up there too.
Good deal.
So
Excellent.
check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So please, and if you never toured the campus or been, that's a great chance to come out and see the beautiful campus there.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
I know COVID. It's an open campus. You're allowed
Yes,
to come
now-
and go.
yeah, now it's open
COVID
camp.
kind of made it a little tricky for the last couple of years, but
Yes.
that's kind of being lifted now, and it's to a point where if you want to come and just come and walk the grounds and see all the beautiful things in there, the public is more than welcome to come and see the campus and come see the institute and how it's a part of this community.
Yeah, how they operate, how the cadets doing.
Sure.
The cadets doing really well there.
It's a cool little universe to be there and see
Yes.
how it works. It's its own little world there.
Yes,
It really
I
is.
can tell because my son was there now. He's a freshman there.
Your son's a freshman, so
Yes.
he's just starting as a freshman.
Yes.
In high school.
Yes.
Okay.
So
How's he doing?
he's doing great. He loves it. He
Well,
loves
he kind of
everything.
probably saw. He knew
Yeah.
what he was getting into with
I
mom
know,
and dad
yeah.
being at all the events and things.
But
so.
he likes it.
So
you know.
is your child also into science or
He
is
is.
he into
He's
something
kind of
else?
little nerdy. Yes.
Okay.
What?
I didn't know if he had other interests or is he like mom and dad into science? Does he want to be a physicist someday or is he?
I think he wanted to be a engineer, and
Okay.
then he wanted to be a lawyer. He wanted to get an
Oh.
engineering degree first, and then he wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh wow! So he's got a lot to chew, a lot to bite off and chew here. If he's going to get a law degree and an engineering degree,
So I told him it's hard, but if you're a NIMI, you can try your best.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, and maybe what'll happen is that he pursues both, and turns out he likes one more than the other, and might focus his attentions,
Yeah,
because that's very different worlds.
Yeah,
you
he
know.
wanted to get an engineering bachelor degree
Sure.
first, and then he's going to go
Gotcha.
to the law school.
Of course, both can be very black and white or very gray. It just depends on
know.
how you. It's an interesting little. Well, I'd be curious to see if Doctor Lawyer is it Yang or Tang?
Tong. Yeah,
Tong.
I didn't change my last
Okay.
name when I get married. Yeah.
So he could be. How do you? If you're a lawyer and a doctor, how do you address someone? Doctor, attorney.
But that's his plan. So I don't know.
Well, we'll
It
worry
might
about the
gonna
titles
change.
later when he gets them all here. But that's cool. That's,
Yeah, but just according to my son's experience, NIMI is a great fit for him.
Good.
Yes.
Good deal.
Mhm.
Well, and then too, he's gonna meet new people, make friends, and probably get
That's
another
true,
interest
yeah.
or two here between. I mean, he's only a freshman, so
Yes.
he's a very young man, and lots can influence him and change his path here when he finds things that he's enjoying and showing interest in.
That's true,
So
yeah.
at the moment, he's an engineer/lawyer, but in a couple
the
years from
future.
now,
We don't know
might be
yet.
astronaut/firefighter. Who knows?
Yes. But at least he was inspired by all of the STEM
the
activities.
science and everything.
Yeah.
I'm guessing too is because his parents are both scientists. You probably have a lot of science in the home and a lot.
Yes, that's true.
A lot of teaching moments, even like you're cooking breakfast and you turned it into a science project. Things like that.
Ingredients, right? Use the scales.
Well, cooking is science. At the end of the day, it's
baking.
all about.
I told him I'm not really good at baking. It's because I'm not really good at chemistry,
Yeah.
probably, right?
Yeah, if you're bad at chemistry, cooking might not be your thing, and vice versa. If you're good at cooking, you may be able to see chemistry.
The ingredients, the temperatures, basically chemical reactions.
And not only that, but how you put the ingredients in and cooking.
When, right?
Yeah, and how you fold it or how you stir it, and it's no different in chemistry. You got to add it a certain time and
I know.
pour it in a certain way. Yeah, you know. But cooking and chemistry are one and the same in many aspects. Just
that's true.
Different end results.
Yeah, science is everywhere in our daily life.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Including the art and including like those paintings and the technology you do. It all
math.
Yeah, it's all a big puzzle that fits together in one way, shape, or form.
That's true. Yes, and hopefully this event can inspire the kids. See the stems.
Yeah, come have fun and come, and that's it. This is the fun part. This is to say, this is why science and art and math can be fun. And we want to show these kids it's fun and it's exciting. Yeah, it's a lot to learn and a lot to know, but when you understand why you're learning it and you create the passion, then the hard part gets fun. Once you get the passion that they want to unsolve the mystery or understand why something is the way it is, then you don't care about the work. You're more about the goal of doing that. And so sometimes the harder it makes it, the more rewarding it is when you find the answer.
That's true. Absolutely. You're right.
So the whole point of this is not to tell people it's easy, but to get people to say it's really cool if you get invested in the interest of this. You're going to in the future. You're going to find out that you're really going to find this a fulfilling, interesting career field that you might turn out to just love and become passionate about, much like other aspects of your life.
That's true.
You get you may have a passion for reading or something, and you were like, okay, now I've got a reason to read because I want to read more about why this asteroid travels the way it travels, or why when you mix these two chemicals together, it creates this reaction. Why is that? And
that's true. Yeah.
And so that's science.
That is. Yes.
So come on out to the open house. Like you said, for kids from pretty much all school age kids, even preschool up to high school. It's a free event. Bring the adults too. Bring the families.
Yes.
You might learn a thing or two at the science open house as well too. Because
they will have fun too. I think
so too. I think once you see, some of like I said, they're going to do it indoors, so they got to leave some of the fire and explosions out of the mix. But that doesn't mean they can't do really cool stuff inside without fear of burning the place.
If we're outside, we can do some fire stuff. But actually, it was on the stage. It's just too hard. We cannot do it.
Maybe in the summer when you do your summer camp again, we can get the fire out there.
Maybe that's a good point.
Maybe we get some rain too. Make sure it's not too dry during the summer to do all that.
But definitely we're going to have another camp during the winter as well.
Good. So we'll have you back to tell more about that.
Yes,
and,
after this one, we're going to start to plan all of those winter camps. Yeah. But it's going to be a shorter one because we don't have a long winter break.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to trap everybody with the STEM stuff instead of Christmas.
You don't want to cut into people's holiday there. So just take a little bit of the time. But this is the thing is, parents, kids, bring the families out to this stuff and then foster that. If they find an interest, if they're coming out there and they're really into something and they start doing their own research on it,
that would be great. Invest
in that. Talk with their teachers and stuff now. See if you can incorporate more of that into their stuff. Hey,
I want to do this. I want to do that.
When they're out in school, is there resources I can take them to or get them into? That use your schools to help you with all of that.
That's true. Yeah. And also, NIMI has lots of cool stuff.
And NIMI can help with all of that too.
Yes.
So if
check out NIMI.
Absolutely.
It's one of the cool opportunities we're providing.
And I do want to remind this, since we're talking about NIMI in recruiting and things a little bit, don't forget, yes, the New Mexico Military Institute, it's a junior college and high school. So it's high school students and first couple years of college. But it's a military school with using military training as kind of the way to instill the curriculum. But it's not like the Air Force Academy or West Point. You're not committed to the military.
No.
Once you go to the college, it's civilian. You don't have to do 4 years in the military after. I mean, you can if you want to through ROTC, but you're not obligated to through. So, matter of fact, there are students that go to high school and the junior college at NIMI that never spend one day in the United States military. They go on to business or they go on to arts or science or wherever their passions lie. Some go to the military because that's where their passions lie. But please don't misunderstand. All students at NIMI are not committed to military careers or nothing like that. If they are, it's because they want to.
Yes.
So if you're thinking, well, yeah, I want to do the science, I want all that, but I don't want to join the Army afterwards. Well, you don't have to. It's now. Some of the disciplines, some of the training practices are shared because they find it's a great way to get kids to work as a team because it
leadership.
Yeah, and let's face it, these kids live with each other 24/7. It's a community. So
it is.
It's more than a classroom. It's a life for them. And when the class is over, they're still hanging out together. When class is going together, they're still hanging out together. When it's the weekend, they're still hanging out together. So.
I feel like you know better than I
do. I've got a little experience in that world.
Really?
So,
yeah.
So it's a different life there, and that's how the what they do at the Institute works with that. So so please don't be intimidated by that because
and also
it really is.
Tuition is not. We have all kinds of scholarships.
Options and money is not the problem.
Yes.
If there's a desire to get you there, folks will find a way to do that.
Yes, the admission works really well with the tuitions and scholarships. So the money is not going to be a problem.
That's right. Just got to have the desire.
That's true. Yes.
So come get it. October this Saturday at the New Mexico Institute. Again, it's Stapp Field, which is not far from Pearson Auditorium right there, in the heart of the campus.
It is a big field right next to the main street. When you drive, you can see the big
you'll see
field.
everybody out there right there.
We have the tents right there, and I don't know whether we're going to have a sound or not, but we do have tents. We have like 6 tents.
You'll see the gaggle of people and all that. Just find a place to park nearby there and walk on in.
Yeah, we're going to open the Honor Avenue, Achievement Avenues for the parking.
Okay.
So they can park from the backside to come into Honor Avenue and Achievement Avenue to park.
So there should be no problems parking and all that good stuff.
No,
there. Good deal. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always go to the NMMI Facebook page. You'll find information, shoot a question there, and if you don't get a hold of Dr. Yang directly, one of the staff will put it in front of Dr. Yang or Dr. Tang here and get that.
Yeah, my email is yang@nimi.edu.
Very good.
So if anybody has
shoot
questions,
it direct there too.
Yeah.
yang@nmmi.edu is the web is her email, and again, it's this Saturday, October 1st, big science STEAM open house. From 1 to 4 p.m. at the New Mexico Military Institute. Everything mostly happening on Stapp Field.
Yes.
There will be a science show in the Pearson right next door about 2:30 or so.
Yeah, we're going to make an announcement before the show started.
Good deal. Mm-hmm. And it's free admission, free. All you got to do is bring yourself and your family.
And enjoy.
And come ready to have some fun and maybe learn a thing or two. So.
They will learn a lot.
They'll learn a lot.
I think.
Maybe get bit by finding your new path and your new passion.
That's true, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything we missed, Dr. Yang? Is there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think we talked about most of them.
We got it?
Yes.
We got it all. And
if I forgot to come again.
We'll get you back in, exactly. And of course, if you want to learn more about NMMI and the programs, please come out this Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to have information.
Lots of information too. And come have some fun. Come enjoy, and who knows? Who knows?
Enjoy the beautiful Saturday.
Yeah, enjoy a beautiful day with some great people, and who knows? You might find your new passion. So,
that's true.
Good deal. Well, as always, thank you for the visit. I'm sure you got a few people waiting to get a hold of you here when you get back to the campus. So.
Yes, I got ready to teach.
That's right. You got a class to teach, so we'll let you go do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Yang,
and
we'll see you Saturday, okay?
See you. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. President Biden has warned oil and gas companies against increasing prices for consumers during the hurricane emergency. The president said, "Do not use this as an excuse to raise gasoline prices or gouge the American people." Mr. Biden said that the hurricane provides no excuse for price increases at the pump, and if it happens, he will ask federal officials to determine whether price gouging is going on. 16 financial firms, including Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, are being fined a combined $1.8 billion by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Communications and record-keeping probes by the two agencies found that between January 2018 and September 2021, bank workers routinely texted about business matters with colleagues and clients on their personal devices without properly logging the chats. Federal law mandates that banks keep records of communication between clients and brokers. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
I'm Mitch Krakowskis, Vice President of Strata Production Company, a local oil and gas business in Roswell. We must have representatives like Greg Nibert who know the economic drivers of this community and New Mexico. Greg has pushed back on efforts by liberal Democrats who are against oil and gas. With over 39 years' experience, Greg Nibert knows the jobs local oil and gas companies create, the opportunities we provide, and the prosperity we bring to our communities. Oil and gas accounts for over 40% of the state budget and has allowed our state to provide raises to educators and state police, and the rebate checks you received. Please vote for Greg Nibert for State Representative, District 59, to keep a strong conservative voice in our legislature.
I'm Greg Nibert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Representative. Richard Taylor, Treasurer. Get ready to get rowdy. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair and the Hondo Rodeo Company presents the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo, Friday and Saturday, October 7th and 8th, 6 p.m. at the Bob Crosby Arena, featuring the best in stray gathering, wild cow milking, trailer loading, and muley roping. Best of all, the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo is free with paid admission to the fair. It all goes down October 7th and 8th during the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Log on to enmsf.com to learn more. Ad paid for through the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax. Pecos Valley Equipment, your John Deere dealer for Roswell and Artesia, congratulates the Eastern New Mexico State Fair on 100 years. Come out to all the shows, enjoy all the entertainment, the music, the food, and the rides as the Eastern New Mexico State Fair celebrates 100 years, October 3rd through the 8th. And Pecos Valley Equipment invites you to tune in to KSVPTV.com for all the junior livestock events. Come celebrate 100 years with the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Pecos Valley Equipment, your Roswell and Artesia John Deere dealer, a proud sponsor of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
The numbers don't lie. Crime is up in southeastern New Mexico. In 2021, Roswell had almost 40 crimes per 1,000, including larceny, assault battery, burglary, motor vehicle theft, robbery, and homicide. These days, the best defense you can get is having a locally owned company install the best security system available. That's Xena Security Services. They offer real security solutions for your home and business. When it comes to your safety, you need a locally owned, locally minded security company at your defense. Call Xena Security Services today, 575-626-3521, 575-626-3521.
Find your path to a greater future at Eastern New Mexico University. With degrees offered both on campus and online, ENMU has the flexibility that you're looking for, and with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship, New Mexico residents can now start, continue, or finish their bachelor's degree tuition-free at ENMU. For more information, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success, that's what we're about.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Tropical storm Ian dumping a lot of rain across Florida's Atlantic coast, unleashing flooding. It's impacting Orlando, Jacksonville, Daytona Beach, among other areas. Earlier, as a powerful hurricane, Ian cut a path of destruction across southwest Florida, trapping people in flooded homes, cutting off a barrier island, and also destroying a historic pier. Governor Ron DeSantis says a lot of people have been left in the dark.
They have 2.02 million reported power outages, but outside of southwest Florida. We may have additional outages from central and northeast Florida impacts, and people should anticipate that.
And there is considerable damage to infrastructure.
Sanibel Causeway, and we also know Pine Island Bridge. Those two are not passable, and they are going to require structural rebuilds.
Communications crippled in the hardest hit areas, so it's hard to get a handle on the extent of the damage. DeSantis says the storm is having a statewide impact. Flooding extends hundreds of miles from where Ian made landfall. And once the storm gets out over the Atlantic, forecasters say it could become a Category 1 hurricane, impacting coastal Georgia and the Carolinas. Hit by surging consumer prices and rising interest rates, the U.S. economy shrank at a 0.6% annual rate, April through June.
The government announced the figure was unchanged from its previous second quarter estimate. It marked the second consecutive quarter of economic contraction, one informal rule of thumb for a recession. Consumer spending grew at a 2% annual rate, but that gain was offset by a drop in business inventories and housing investment.
It's correspondent Jeremy House on Wall Street. Stocks are sharply lower. The Dow is down 477 points, while the Nasdaq is off 322. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Another leak has been found on the pipelines that transport natural gas from Russia to Germany.
The fourth leak on one of the Nord Stream pipelines has been reported off the coast of southern Sweden, according to Swedish coastguards. All 4 detected leaks are in international waters, 2 near Sweden and 2 near Denmark. The Danish and Swedish governments believe that the leaks off their countries were deliberate actions. Before the leaks were reported, explosions were recorded by seismologists, with one blast being the equivalent to a magnitude 2.3 earthquake. Some European officials are blaming Russia for any possible sabotage, who stands to benefit from higher energy prices. However, many others warn against pointing the finger too soon. I'm Karen Chamas.
Vice President Harris capping her 4-day trip to Asia with a stop today at the demilitarized zone dividing the Korean peninsula. The visit comes on the heels of North Korea's latest ballistic missile launches. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. ExxonMobil issuing a temporary stand-down across all of its U.S. shale operations.
It follows back-to-back worker injuries, including one fatality. A worker was injured in West Texas, and an Axis Energy Services workman performing repair work was killed last Tuesday in East Texas. Back in March, a woman was crushed to death at a West Texas site operated by Exxon. The incidents come as oilfield service firms struggle to find experienced oilfield employees. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Russia confirms it will formally annex parts of Ukraine where occupied areas held a Kremlin-orchestrated referendum on living under Moscow's rule. The vote, condemned by the Ukrainian government and the West, is illegal and rigged. Russian President Putin will attend a ceremony tomorrow in the Kremlin when 4 regions of Ukraine will officially be folded into Russia. To get on Wall Street, the Dow down 477. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Viernos.
Good mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Indeed.
Hope everything's going well for you out there.
Indubitably. You don't get to hear enough indubitably. It doesn't really come up very often.
That is a true statement. Yes, you don't hear indubitably. Yes, you listen to old 80s movies.
Mm-hmm. There's a reference to it in the show Arrested Development because one of the movies that gets developed is a movie called Love Indubitably.
Is it a sequel to Love Actually?
It's in the same vein.
You know what? With Hurricane Ike, or Ian, I think. Ian, that's what it is.
Yep,
Hurricane Ian. I'm sorry. Hurricane Ian.
Hit me again, Ike, and put some stank on it.
Sorry. I got my 3-letter I names mixed up. Ian.
Uh-huh.
It goes by Ian, not Ian, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely Ian.
Some Ians go by Ian.
Yeah, those Ians can go to Hades.
They work for Iams.
Iams.
Instead of Ians. Iams. But anyway, so with all of that coverage that's out there, and of course with said coverage, you see the reporters standing in the rivers and, you know, the wind blowing and all those. But when you get on the Twitterverse, people, whenever these types of scenarios hit in the news, you always get the people that love to rehash the old hurricane footage.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw countless videos of, like, footage of, like, the reporter, like, the one that makes me laugh the hardest is the Today Show one.
I know. I think it's exactly the same one. If it involves a canoe?
Yes.
Yes, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. There's a reporter just standing, like, I would say about, like, thigh deep in water. It's a significant,
not even.
No, it's a significant amount of water, though. It's definitely, and they're like, this is a catastrophe. It's terrifying. And just out of nowhere, just from one side of the screen, pans in, just a couple just cruising in a canoe. It was a canoe, right?
No, this is a different one, though.
Okay, was it a raft?
No, there was a canoe, but you've got the story a little different than the video I just saw.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I saw was the Today Show, and it's Matt Lauer and Katie Couric.
Yep.
And they're sitting there and they're talking about, I don't remember which hurricane it is. I don't remember. And they're like, well, we're going to check in with one of their roving reporters, and she's sitting in a canoe.
In a canoe, that's what it was.
Maybe it's Katrina. I'm not sure which one it was. But she's sitting in a canoe paddling around talking about, oh, well, the rains have stopped, but the flooding's still here. And then while she's doing this, two dudes in overalls, and the water is like up to mid-shin. It's not even up to like ankles, or I mean up to waist or anything. It's like it's like right about halfway up the shin.
You're absolutely right. I was misremembering the clip.
And they just walk by her while she's doing her report.
And you know, right before they did it, they went, watch this.
And then she just moves on with it. But then right after that, Matt Lauer says, hey, wait a minute. Two guys just walked by you.
You know, knowing what we know now about Matt Lauer, you realize he was probably kind of a crapster. He probably loved stuff like that.
Now, you know, back then it was funny. Now it's like, what a jerk, he's a ruiner. But there was another one that makes me laugh, too. And this one, I remember it was from a hurricane in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And they show this guy, and he's just like a local beat reporter, and he's standing there. And it's a little windy. You can kind of see the trees blowing and everything else. But he's standing there, and you can see him like doing his report, but he's doing that lean that heavy lean, like leaning into the wind so he can keep himself upright, doing, the winds are terrible. And then right behind him, you see these two dudes just strolling like nothing's going on behind him. It looks windy, but he's trying to make it look like hurricane force. And then there's just two guys, they look like 20-year-olds just walking around looking at the rain and just walking around like with their hands in their pocket, just do.
This is it's probably the same two guys. They probably just find weather shots throughout the country and just mess it up. No, but you just got to imagine this guy was like, all right, I finally get to use my mime skills.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've gotten to test out my mime. All right, Marcel, this is for you.
It's out to my mom. Marcel's out there. But it is, so I've been watching, not that I'm trying to compare what's going on now to that, but it just brought up all those videos and I'm watching them and I'm like, oh man.
See, and what's boggling my mind about this is usually when a hurricane hits landfall, it starts losing ferocity.
Yes.
But this one doesn't seem to be doing that. It
will eventually.
Well, yeah,
that's what happens.
Of course, but it hit Tampa and it was sweeping towards Orlando still at a category 5, which that's insane.
Well, what I think was, this is just me watching the maps, looking at it. When you looked like yesterday before it officially hit landfall in Florida there, which was about 3:30 their time or something like that. I remember seeing the maps and everything, and the why I think that part of Florida was getting hammered so bad was because the eye of the hurricane was in the water on the west of the Florida, the actual peninsula that comes out there. But the storm was so big that it was wrapping around, so it not only enveloped that bottom of Florida there, but the east side of the hurricane was gaining strength from the water on the other side.
It hooked.
So it was like in a circular gaining strength from water on the east and west.
Oh wow!
And then, and I don't know if you saw there was some footage of some like beachfront areas around Tampa Bay area. And right before the hurricane hit, of course, it's drawing in the water. And like the levels of where the water normally is, it was all gone. It all had been sucked up by the hurricane. And so were places where it was like a port or a little bay or docking area where boats and everything could go. That was all dry because the hurricane was sucking all the water out from the shores there. And
crazy.
And because it was doing it on the east and west coast of that Florida peninsula there, it was drawing strength on both sides, and that poor landmass in the middle was just getting hammered. So I think that's part of, once this thing moves, in which it's moving north inland up the coast, it will definitely start weakening hard as long as it doesn't stay out to sea. If it rides up the seaboard, then it's going to keep getting stronger. But if it makes landfall in and comes up, it'll start weakening because it needs the water to survive.
That's where it gains its power from, which is what I meant. Like once it starts moving inland, you start seeing it weaken. And usually, like for the last several years at least, when you see one of these, start to form offshore, by the time it gets to the coast, it's usually has dropped 2 to 3 levels.
Right.
But this one swept in at a 5, and it's still going strong at a 5, which is almost unprecedented.
Yeah, it's and I think where it was doing that stuff, it just gained a lot of strength. So it's got a lot in there before it starts, kind of petering out a little bit. And it's just
Peter.
But it's a doozy, man. And that's why there's so many, because you got all those people in Florida. Of course, you've got that sect of people. I've been through a bunch of hurricanes. I'll be fine, and this one's a little different. And then the other variable here is, we all know this: Florida's a retirement community. It's full of seniors and elderly folks, and they're not too keen on packing up and moving. And they're like, all my life is here. I'm hunkering down, and I'm going to go with it. And that's that mindset. And a lot of people are getting punished for that because of this weather. So hopefully everything fares well, but we won't know until the storm passes through and they can assess what happened here. But I imagine we're going to see some pretty shocking numbers when this is all said and done. So we'll see. Hopefully not, but I think we will. So everything all right? I just saw like a
no. I was trying to fill out a form online, and it was one of those things where it's like my phone goes to sleep. It was gonna lose all the info that I had on there. So I was trying to like move my phone, and the screen popped up. Your session has expired. So I have to start from scratch.
Don't tell our bosses.
Yeah.
He'll give you a hard time about it for 10 minutes.
I'm fully aware. I live in abject torment because my boss and to a lesser extent my co-host or my host,
I just don't care,
is an iPhone user.
I am, but
one of which is Avid.
Yes, I'm just a guy that's convenient for me. I don't judge people for their phone.
And here's the thing: you'll find this is true largely across the board. Android users, we don't really care.
Yeah.
iPhone users, for some reason, have to bring us over. They have to tell
There's
us
a hint of bougie
why
with
they're
a phone.
superior.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Gene, but iPhone cannot be a personality trait. All right? iPhone owner is not a personality trait. There, I said it.
It is in this world.
It shouldn't be. It certainly should not be.
It is a bit bougie. I know that. It's kind of a bougie.
I just got a new phone. I love my new phone. It does all the stuff I want it to do. It's got a great camera. The battery actually lasts on it. It's fine.
One thing it doesn't do is fill out that form, apparently.
You know, my autofill hasn't fully been trained yet, all right? See? You are part of the problem. You don't realize it, but you feed trolls. That's what it comes down to, is you're a crap stirrer.
I feed and fight trolls.
Right. You're not part of the fight, but you're part of the feeding therein.
I'm troll adjacent.
Troll adjacent. That's one way to look at it, sure.
That's what I am. I stir a pot and I walk away. That's what I do.
That guy that just lights the drapes on fire and says, toodaloo.
I have a tendency to do that, yes. It is not a flaw. It is not a character trait that I'm proud of, but it's one I do.
You can't then sit there and say, oh, I'm not part of this, but I got no dog in this. Because you do.
I don't care. That's just it. I don't have a dog.
Care either. I'm an Android user. Inherently, we don't care.
Yeah.
He's the one that cares, but in me, like, poking the bear, it looks like I'm caring. I don't care.
Well, that's my thing. That's what I'm saying. Because I knew when I said, well, if they ought to fill out the form, I'm going to get 2 octaves higher Sean and start talking.
But you're out there poking the bear poker.
That's what I do.
That's not fair. Poke the bear with me.
I do poke him too. I do.
It's camaraderie, man.
I pick my pokes where I pick my pokes.
I love this show.
I'm a random poker.
Sometimes I poke at will.
That's right. We're going to talk Eastern New Mexico State Fair this hour. I'm not sure if any of our guests are here yet. I haven't heard doors open or close, so I'm not sure. But we'll get that underway here in just a bit. But before we do anything else, let's take a look at our weather. Unlike Florida, ours is nice and boring and just sunny and mid to upper 80s for the rest of this week and probably next as well.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look good for the next couple of days. High pressure will hang out in the Four Corners and also over western Texas. We've got dry air in place, and that means sunshine for us today. A little bit breezy, especially in the afternoon. Our high should top out in the mid-80s. Overnight, a few clouds and mid-50s, and then for Friday, mid-80s and sunny, mid to upper 80s and fair for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It is fair for the weekend. I didn't know if he realized he did that. But coincidentally enough, fair unofficially getting underway this weekend, officially on Monday. But fair this weekend. You heard it here first. 66 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40%. Winds are calm at the moment. Today, sunny, 87 for a high. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 this morning, 10 to 15 this afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 56 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll drop back down 5 to 10 after midnight tonight. Friday, sunny, high of 88 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, if you're going out to the fair or going out to watch some football, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 57. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then looking at your weekend on Saturday, sunny skies, a high of 87. South winds 5 to 15. Sunday, sunny skies, highs around 85. And then for Fair Day Monday, sunny skies, highs also right around 85 degrees. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take about a 4-minute break here, and then we'll talk fair on the other side. Is that fair? It's fair. To be fair. We'll do that on the other side. Don't go away.
There's at least one thing most New Mexicans agree on. Our schools have a long way to go. That's why Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is breathing new life into public education with initiatives that support our children from their first baby steps to promising career paths. Like expanding in-home family services, early childhood and pre-K, so thousands more kids will go off to school healthy and ready to learn. And attracting new teachers by raising salaries to the highest in the Southwest. It's already paying off by recruiting hundreds of new teachers to our classrooms this year. And she is cutting teacher paperwork and administrative burdens by 41%, so they have more time to teach our children. Thanks to the governor's new Opportunity Scholarships, any New Mexican can now attend a state college for free to earn a certificate or degree in a wide range of high-demand fields. After 2 tough years, we're finally making progress in education. We can't afford to go back to the failed policies of the past.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Come on down. The Price is Right sales event is on at Roswell Nissan with a showcase showdown of amazing savings, like a 2020 Nissan Sentra for just $289 a month, 2020 Nissan Versa for just $249 a month, or a 2014 Toyota Avalon for just $219 a month. Plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days available. If you got a job, a bank account, and a down payment or trade, Roswell Nissan can make it happen. The Price is Right sales event all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered.
Have you noticed the days are getting shorter? This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on the downhill side of the year, so every day is a couple of minutes shorter than the one before, even though your plants need plenty of food and water to keep them healthy. Like those globe willows that are turning yellow. A good dose of the right fertilizer will make them bright green again. No matter what the problems you're having, we probably have a cure at Roswell Seed Company. But come see us soon, because winter's coming, you know.
Amigo Machinery, your local Kubota dealer for Southeast New Mexico, congratulates the Eastern New Mexico State Fair on 100 years. Come out to all the shows, enjoy the entertainment, the music, the food, and the rides as the Eastern New Mexico State Fair celebrates 100 years, October 3rd through the 8th. And Amigo Machinery invites you to tune in to KSVPTV.com for all the junior livestock events. Come celebrate 100 years of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Amigo Machinery, your local Kubota dealer, a proud sponsor of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning.
Fergalicious.
From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who you gonna call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit?
Fergalicious.
Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love.
Fergalicious. If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
The season rolls on for your Roswell Coyotes, and coming up this Friday night, your Coyotes are back home at the Wool Bowl, squaring off against the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com has got you covered with every second of the action. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista, Friday beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. You know, I'll talk to you later. Good morning. It is 9:20. It happens when you're in the middle of a conversation and then you're like, oh, you got to go back to the show. How inconvenient. Just kidding. Good morning. It is 24 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us here in studio to talk Eastern New Mexico State Fair with us, Adrian Ragsdale back with us. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
Good. Well, I guess it was about a year ago we talked to you talking to fair, so we're back again talking fair.
It's that time.
So, of course, we've kind of given people, updates about everything that's going to be happening out at the fair this week, and we've been talking about the various shows, turn-in times from everything to the home ec side to the livestock stuff. But I know the part most of us come out to the fair for is for the fun side, the carnivals, the entertainment, all the things that kind of just make us that's the stuff that brings us there, and then you hopefully come and learn all the livestock shows and stuff. But the draw is our entertainment, the music, the rides, all the fun side of the fair. So we're going to talk all about that now. So
all right,
good deal. First thing, and I've said this a bunch of times, but want to remind folks. Even though the Eastern New Mexico State Fair officially will start Monday with the parade and everything, Monday morning, we'll talk about the parade here in a minute. But unofficially, it'll start tomorrow. They're going to have a sneak peek preview carnival weekend tomorrow and Saturday out at the fairgrounds. During that time, that's the only thing open, though. The commercial building, the local vendors, the education building, all those parts aren't going to be open. Just the carnival and the carnival food that they have there. So, which is a lot. There's going to be a lot there to do. But if you're looking for all the other fair stuff, that won't start till Monday.
Correct.
But if you want to ride rides and eat corn dogs and things like that, come on out Friday or Saturday and get a preview.
Right. The carnival opens at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
4 p.m. Okay.
4 p.m. And then Saturday at noon, and it's $35 wristbands for all the fun you want.
Ride till you can't eat any more corn dogs.
That may not be very long for some.
Depending on and your ride selection, obviously. If you stick to the more lower ones, and so you probably can eat more. But the things that spin you around or shoot you up somewhere, then those are probably a little less on that. But underway. 4 p.m. tomorrow, carnival, game on. Come on out, have some fun. And then they go till noon on Saturday till what, about 8 or 10 or something?
Usually, about 10.
Yeah, till about 10 o'clock. Everything will be closed down to the public on Sunday as the livestock starts moving in, the vendors start moving in, all that starts happening. And then Monday, it's game on officially.
It is. The parade will start rolling down Main Street at 10 o'clock Monday morning.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a dumb question. I know we're days away, but if someone wanted to get in the parade right now, is it still a possibility, or are we too late?
Yes, but don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Of course. If there is, it's busy the fair sneaks up on people every year.
Absolutely.
If you have a group that needs to get in, you can call the fair office. I will let you in.
Yeah.
You're not going to be at the front, but you will be
in
in the parade.
We will get you into the parade. Very good. And for folks that are new to the area, not familiar, the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Parade, I think it's safe to say is probably the biggest parade we have here in Roswell each year. We have some great parades in here, but as far as sheer size of the parade, as amount of people participating, you got to tip the cap to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Parade.
It is a big parade.
It's a big parade. And it'll start at 10 a.m. Monday morning. The parade route, it's traditional like they do every year. They assemble at the Wool Bowl parking lot there, and then they'll get out on College and get onto Main Street off of College and then head south to Summit, which is now the Ashley Home Store, the artist formerly known as Sears, back right there.
Right.
So if you line up anywhere on Main Street between Summit there on the south end and College on the north end, you're going to see the parade.
Absolutely.
The judges, and if there's any kind of show that's a part of a float, that will all be right in front of the courthouse, the Chaves County Courthouse lawn. So if you're wanting to see that kind of stuff, you probably want to get around 2nd, 3rd Street, 4th Street, somewhere in that ballpark. But if you're like, I want a little elbow room, I want a little room to put out my chairs and spread out a little bit, maybe a little farther north towards College or farther south towards Summit, you'll find maybe a better spot for you to kick back and watch the parade.
All of our participants usually perform along the parade route, but they definitely do a little extra for the judges.
Yeah,
downtown,
they're hamming it up for the judges there because they're competing for prizes, for the trophies. So if you want to see all that, you probably want to, and pro tip, that area packs early. So if you're trying to get a prime spot, get there early in that area. However, like I said, if you're late or you got to work and they don't let you out till 9:30 or whatever to go to get you a parade spot, anywhere along Maine between College and Summit, you're going to you're going to see everything you see.
Absolutely.
There. Yeah, and you might even get better shots at like candy and things when because there's going to be a lot more people wanting the candy downtown, but you catch them north, you might get in like the early pickings. If I'm just trying to pick, priorities here. For
right.
But as of right now, how many, usually it's over 100 every time in the entrance into the parade.
We've had a lot more entries combining.
Okay.
And so like number wise, we're in the 70s.
Okay.
At the
and that'll add
80.
And that'll add between now and Monday. I'm absolutely positive of that.
But we have a large entry from Dexter.
Oh, cool.
Which I think is really cool. And I don't know how many, like I'm counting them as one.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be several floats, several vehicles, several groups. So
it's almost like a mini parade within a parade.
Right. Like the number sounds deceiving, but don't worry, it'll still be the big grand parade.
It's a bigger, larger 70 plus. So.
Right.
Very cool. And of course, we do want to, Larry Hobson, our Grand Marshal.
Grand Marshal, yeah.
He, deservedly so. To be honest, you could just kind of default make him it every year, and people would understand and appreciate it because he's been that much of a vital role to the fair.
He absolutely has. He's why I'm here.
Yeah, be honest. If there was ever one person or one family that you said weren't here and there may not be a fair, that would be the Hobson family, Larry
right.
and his wife and everything. That
Larry and Judy have really
so much
poured their heart and time and family into the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, and it's grown into a beautiful thing.
So I'm guessing they will be at the place of honor in the front of the parade.
They will be leading the parade.
Good deal. Excellent.
And they have some fair friends and family that are going to be with them. So
good deal.
Should be neat.
So they won't be alone.
No,
they'll have to stack up in the car there.
Right, we're having to really convince Larry that he can't get out and walk and talk to everybody and shake hands like he wants to.
I know. Well, maybe they'll just get the car go real slow, But please come out, have some fun. Of course, kids will be off here in Roswell anyway, off school on Monday because of Fair Day. So bring the kids out, and then as soon as the parade's over, come on out to the fairgrounds. Game on. The rides will start probably about 4 or 5 there, but
they'll start as soon as the parade is over.
Okay, so they'll start
it's kind of like
early
the idea
afternoon.
Is you just
then
follow it on out.
Okay,
the gates will be open and
And usually parade and everything wraps up, I mean, all said and done, usually around 1-ish when, kind of everybody gets through.
Right.
And it takes a while to move a parade that big.
It does. It does. It takes about an hour for everybody to get out of the parking lot.
So I figure by about 1-2 in the afternoon, everything should be start opening up as far as the rides and everything like that. They'll be doing livestock shows already during that time and everything else. So if the rides quite aren't open yet, then walk on over to the educational building or the livestock show ring and see some of that stuff. Or will the commercial building open early that day too?
Yes.
Okay.
The commercial building will open at 1.
So you can go there or swing by and get some ice cream from the ag folks there.
I know. All the treats.
I always star that little booth right in front of the commercial building. I don't care. I could be like dying. And I'm like, no, we got to get ice cream.
It's a quality product they have.
I do not miss that. So now, once you're there at the fair, don't forget, there's a full week of entertainment going on. Every night there's concerts and things happening out at the fair. Of course, like every fair, there's your daily shows that happen every day, and we'll talk about some of those. But then we've got some great concerts. I know, of course, the Friday night shows the big draw, but as Sean was mentioning in the first hour, Thursday night, Frank Ray with Bree Bagwell, that's another one of those that you're like, you might not get to see that here again because no one's going to be able to afford them because they're going to be big stars.
I think Frank and Bree will always come back to New Mexico,
but
I don't know if they'll always come back to Roswell.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
And in this kind of venue, we're really excited. They're both Las Cruces people, incredibly talented, and Frank is in Nashville now and really, really hitting it big. He's such a nice guy, great guy, and just loves what he's doing, and you can feel it and hear it in his music.
Absolutely. And so please, just don't wait. Oh, I'm going to wait till Friday for Colby Cooper and all. Because, do that. Come out for that.
Come out every night.
But you're going to miss out on some awesome entertainment if you're just holding out for him on Friday night here. He's already blowing up, so we're probably lucky to have him now.
We are. I'm very excited that we have Frank Ray coming. Like I said, he's got a pretty busy schedule, but he fit us in.
Yeah, so
it worked out.
But first let's talk about the daily entertainment. Talk about the different shows that are going to be available every day, and mostly in the commercial building, but each day out at the fair this year.
So in the commercial building this year, we have the NASCAR experience.
Yeah,
and it is a full, legit NASCAR vehicle.
Okay.
It's a simulator.
Right.
So it's the same thing that NASCAR drivers use to train in.
Okay.
And you can hop in and
do a few laps.
Drive and
cool.
check. There's a pit crew experience too.
Nice.
And it's a really interactive, neat thing that will be available all day.
Cool.
While the commercial building is open.
So if you ever thought you watch NASCAR on Sunday and you're like, I could do that. Well, let's see. Come out to the fair and try.
It'll rattle you and have all the noises and just feel like you're driving a NASCAR.
Good deal.
I think it's really cool.
When you wreck it, you won't have any issues or any health issues or money issues. Yeah, or a big bill to pay after you wreck that expensive car. So cool. So that's going to be going on all week, and that's just one of several things that are going on.
Right.
Too.
Like I said, that'll be in the commercial building the whole time the commercial building's over. That event will be available.
Cool.
We have Mythic Creatures this year, which is a dragon with a rider.
Okay.
And he's very interesting looking, and he'll be cruising around our fairgrounds to visit with people.
Okay. Kind of like when Rocket the Robot in years past would kind of visit and say hi to folks.
Right.
Now we got this mythical dragon.
Right. We have a dragon this
that's
time.
going to be visiting. I feel like a dragon's way bigger than a robot.
I haven't seen him in real life, but I think he's pretty impressive. He's a little bit scary, but also not. It's not like
think of like Pete's Dragon or Puff the Magic Dragon from back. The kids are like, who are these people? But adults would know who they are.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if it's for kids or adults. With all the Game of Thrones hype. I'm like,
that's true.
It's kind of cool. We've got a dragon.
It's cross-generational.
Right.
Very cool. So be on the lookout for that throughout your time when you're out at the fairgrounds.
He'll be roaming around the grounds.
Okay.
Throughout the week.
There's some more too, isn't there?
And then we have Dan the Farmer Man.
That's right. Dan the Farmer Man is very popular.
He has a kind of an agricultural based comedy, entertainment, educational show that he does. And then he has a little truck that he drives around. And
nice.
So we'll have the NASCAR will be in the same place, obviously, the whole time. But the other things that Dan has its home base, but he'll also cruise.
Okay. So he'll do his shows at his home base there. Right. But he'll be out and about walking around
interacting,
and doing little probably skits and
he has a little truck to drive.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cute.
Yeah. That'll be fun. So be on the lookout for those. And again, I do want to stress to you that for concerts, and now we're about to shift to talking about the nightly concerts here, but all the concerts, all these shows we're talking about, that's included with your admission into the fair. You're not paying extra to go see these concerts. When you came to pay your admission into the fair, when you walked into the gates there, you're good to go. The world is your oyster within the fairgrounds there.
Absolutely. So. We're putting on a big show for everybody to come out and enjoy. There's not hidden fees or tickets or anything. Once you're in, it's all yours.
Yeah, it's absolutely so. So let's start. Where do we want to start? I guess probably chronologically here.
All right.
Monday, what's on tap for Monday?
So Monday is we're just taking it all in.
Gotcha. Welcome to the fair.
Right. We don't have a musical performance that night.
Okay. Just come ride the rides. Come meet the car. This would be maybe a good night to check out Dan the Farmer Man and some of the shows that are going to be there all week. That way, if you're like, well, I want to see them, but I'm going to free up tonight to do that. That way, I won't miss them later in the week.
Right,
So.
and it's it's kind of the first week. Everything's overwhelming. Come take all of that in,
Sure.
and then we'll slowly start adding bigger shows and bigger shows
Sure.
throughout the week.
So, but then when you come back Tuesday night, Austin Van will be your performer Tuesday night. What time is his concert?
I believe it's going to start at 6:30.
6:30
So
p.m.
Austin Van, Pinnacle Propane is sponsoring Austin Van,
Okay.
and he is he's another New Mexico guy. He's kind of from a little, I guess, the Southwest right now, but
Okay.
he opened up for Neil McCoy a couple weeks ago.
Nice. Okay.
And he had everybody dancing all night long.
Nice.
He has a great voice, kind of an old soul kind of vibe.
Is his country the red dirt style, or is it more traditional? I know there's like these subgenres now, and they get a little in the weeds
I
to
know.
me.
I would say he has his original music, and then he does a lot of old country. Like
Okay. So if you're kind of a fan of more older country and
he
stuff,
does
you're
Merle,
probably
he does it,
gonna like
and
Austin.
he does it well.
Good
he does
deal.
it so well.
So if you're a classic country fan, you're probably going to dig Austin Van.
Right, and
Good deal.
he does. He mixes in some newer, favorites and
Good
stuff
deal.
like that. But
if you kind of miss the old country sounds, you're like, get that rekindled with Austin
yeah,
Van.
he's the young guy with a just solid kind of older
an
sounding
old soul.
voice. Yeah, he is. He's
young
definitely
man with an old soul.
He
yeah.
is.
Very cool. Very good. So that's Tuesday night. And like I said, about 6:30, that's when those concerts will get underway. Again, if you're into the fair, you got paid to get in, you're good to go. Just mosey on over to the concert area. There.
Right.
And then Wednesday night, Brothers Walker will be your entertainment. And it's about the same time, about 6:30 each night here. Talk a little bit about the Brothers Walker.
So Reed and Stevens is sponsoring the Brothers Walker. And Brothers Walker is a Christian brother duo.
Okay.
And they were on The Voice. I believe they were on Team Usher.
Okay.
And
so they got some notoriety here if you're a Voice fan.
They have, and they just put on just a good family show.
Gotcha.
It's, like I said, it's Christian based. It's not, we're not.
Is it like contemporary or country?
It is,
or?
and it's fun and happy music
Gotcha.
too. It's not gospel. It's
just like a poppy, feel good, adult contemporary is probably the category
good
it's in.
Praise music and but they do they're I think that they're really have a really clever show. It's really it's nice.
I'm imagine it's especially when you get like the brothers here, the personalities come out, and I think the show is probably as much about the personalities as it is the actual songs they're singing.
Right,
You know
and they sound great as
Good
well.
deal.
I think that they're I don't want to miss anything this year.
It's hard to pick and choose, so just go to them all.
Right.
So, but that'll be Wednesday night again about 6:30.
Right.
Brothers Walker will take over the stage there. And then we kind of previewed Thursday a little bit, but we'll expand upon that. Frank Ray with Bree Bagwell will be at the fair Thursday night, again about 6:30, and same kind of deal here. Everyone's talking about Colby Cooper Friday night, but Frank Ray it's going to be a lot harder to see him for the price of an Eastern New Mexico State Fair ticket after this week.
It might be harder to see him for that price now anywhere. But,
exactly.
But yeah, Bree will open up for Frank, and Bree Bagwell's killing it too. She's really getting real popular, and she puts on a fantastic show. And I'm interested to see, it's fun to watch people from this part of the country shine too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we take a little ownership in that.
I'm very proud.
Yeah.
That they're New Mexico people.
As a New Mexican, you're like, hey, these are our people. These are they chewed the same dirt we did.
We have some crazy talent here.
Yeah, and so it's great to see a national stage appreciate what we've been appreciating for a while now.
Right.
So if you want to appreciate it one more time without spending some major coin, come on out to the fair this week and come out Thursday night for that concert.
Right, and both Frank and Bree are active on TikTok. They post personal, really personal things, not just promoting themselves. I mean, I think, like I said, I feel like I know them really well now.
Yeah,
which is
I know we live in
it's fun.
I know we live in a more modern age where people get music different than they do back when let's say younger. Will these artists have tables set up if you want to buy albums and things, or is it more done digital now?
No, they'll have a merch table. I don't know if they'll have albums. I know that they'll have T-shirts and whatever swag. They want. Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't know if you can get because some of us still like to buy a CD every once in a while.
Albums or records are popular.
They always have that. They'll never go away because there's always that collector's vibe to vinyl. Yeah.
Listening to music on a record is a different experience.
There's a different sound, that comes off, and it's nostalgic for many.
Yeah, it's
and
like
things.
a whole event in itself.
So I don't think, but unfortunately, the generation I grew up in with the tape deck and the 8-track player, and later the CD, those kind of went the way of the dodo. So.
Yeah, it's not as fun to put in a CD as it is to put the record in or put it on.
I wish they invested more science into 8-track technology. I feel like they could have took that somewhere, but. Another story for another time.
I know.
But so if you want to get some swag from these folks, and I'm sure to get their music and stuff, they'll have ways to get it digitally or online some way or shape or form. And who knows, maybe they'll have a few CDs available for sale, depending on the table.
And both Bree Bagwell and Frank Ray have been charting on the Texas Country or the Red Dirt.
I know Sean's been playing them on our country station all the time.
Depends on what you call it, but different vendors call it different things. Yeah. But they're big.
Yeah, they're popular. They're well liked, and they put good music out.
They do. They put on great shows.
Put whatever name you want on it. It's just good music. So.
Don't miss it.
And then of course we can't forget Friday, the big show Friday night. Colby Cooper with JD and the Badlands. That's probably the most sought after ticket for the week is that concert that Friday night.
I am so excited about this concert. Yeah. We are very thankful that Pecos Valley Production is going to sponsor, and they'll be out there with some goodies for some freebies, not any product,
not samples.
But
although I think some of the food vendors wouldn't mind that.
I know, really help out their bottom line.
Man, we sold so mmany corn dogs on Friday.
Well,
another story for another time. But very cool. That they're sponsoring.
JD's, I don't know. He's played in Roswell several times. Mm-hmm. He's from Artesia. Just talk about a legit performer with a other day job.
Yeah.
He puts on a heck of a show.
He's got quite a following.
He does, and he's so fun. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm excited. I love JD.
It's going to be
his crew.
Come out and check it out. Come out. I know Fridays are busy with football and everything else, but if you're looking for a great night of entertainment, Friday night at the fair, you're not going to be disappointed.
It is going to be fantastic. And Colby Cooper is, he's just right there on the edge. He's huge in Texas, and it's finally starting to spill over where everybody else is picking up on him too. So
yeah, absolutely.
We're excited. He's from my neck of the woods originally.
So okay. So
excited to have
so it's
him.
a little closer to you even more. So, but again, as I mentioned earlier, tickets to these concerts are included with your admission price into the fair. So when you pay to go to the fair, you're good to go. Just mosey on over. You don't need to buy extra tickets or anything like that for this show or any of the other shows.
Absolutely, which is why we're so thankful to our sponsors that help us be able to make these shows. There's not
Pecos Valley Production made it possible. You can basically see Colby Cooper for almost free on Friday night.
Really? You really can. Yeah. And on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday we're not done yet because now we got a full day. If you love the Latin music and all of that, Saturday you got some big names that are going to be taken to the stage on Saturday too. So big names in that world.
So Saturday, the headliners are. Oh, here we go. Here comes my East Texas.
Yeah, this one. There's one in there that it's a mouthful.
So Tropicalissimo Apache. They're a cumbia group out of Torreon, Coahuila, Mexico.
Okay.
And they've been around for a while. They've been around since the 80s. They've been through Roswell, but they have.
It's kind of they got an iconic group following.
They really do, and everybody that I talked to that's seen them or watched a YouTube video, it's like they pay tribute to their Mexican heritage. They're very appreciative of their American.
Okay, so it's really kind of that
roots and-
lifestyle
yeah,
type
it's-
music that really people resonate with.
I'm really I've never seen them, but I'm looking forward to seeing their show
Their
too.
reputation precedes them.
It really does, and it's it's a multi-generational following that they have. So
So it's moms, dads, and the sons and daughters are
and
about
everybody
equally liking it.
And everybody tells me you can't help but dance when you hear their music. So
All right.
that should be a fun night.
It hits the dance bone, whatever that
Right.
bone is. It starts making things shake. It activates that. So they're the headliners, but you want to get there early before that because Grupo Maldad and Mickey Cruz, those are household names.
They
around
are,
here.
and
Yeah.
they're I think that Saturday is. Whenever I step back and think about it, we have a fantastic lineup of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Some years we have kind of lower nights, but I just think this year all of our performers are just.
Yeah, you might not have a low night there. Every night, if people really understand, appreciate what kind of entertainment they got out there, you should be packed every night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's hard. I mean, I know that sometimes people don't expect
Mhm.
much.
Yeah,
but-
they get a fair, and all right, we're here for that. And there's some guy on the stage over there.
Right.
He's
but
pretty
this
big
year,
deal, that guy over
we
the stage.
have some great acts, and we're
Yeah.
bringing in some really good talent that may not make it through this area again
Yeah,
for a while.
That's what we're trying to tell you is, dude, if you go see these concerts now, because next time you try to see them in any live form, you're going to pay $100 plus to see them. So
they're going to be selling out stadiums someday.
yeah, and so it's great to. I mean, we look at the track record of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair already. How many of those artists in years past that have been come through and performed on stages at the fair, and now they're in Nashville or they're on they're on the tops of every charts
know.
out there, or they're household names in their genres and things like that, and the fair does a great job at catching these people on the way up.
We try to.
And so they nailed it this year again. So they got some people that are a little farther up than they normally get on the up scale. So it's really good to see. So please come out, pay your very affordable entry fee into the fair. Take advantage of like senior days and military discounts to save even more on that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of it. It's there for you. And then just come out, support this entertainment, support the kids at the livestock show. Come and ride all the rides and visit. Try to, you got a week. Try to hit every nook and cranny of that fairground as you can. It'd be really difficult to do it in one trip, but you could. Maybe break it up over the week there.
I think
couple
that
trips out.
there's definitely. I mean, it depends. There's our early crowd that like to get there right when the gates open.
Yeah.
And the late crowd, and then the late crowd. But it's there's something for everybody. That I think it's kind of hard to take it all in one day.
Yeah.
I know it was before I was on the fair board. I had no idea how much was out there.
You only saw the facet that
right.
maybe most of us see.
Right.
Yeah,
And the carnival has expanded this year. It's the Rights Amusements is fantastic to work with. They're clean, they're safe, they're really have great crew, and I don't know.
And that's such a big deal because let's face it, we talk carnivals and things. There's always that automatic mindset of what we think that is, and this carnival group and they're trying to change that image of that expectation, and so they're providing, like you said, the not the experience that we think, but the one that it should be.
Right. Like I said, it's clean, it's well lit.
Yeah.
All of John's workers are they're nice, and if you have a problem with them, let somebody with a red badge know.
Good deal.
But like I said, we haven't had any problems with them. They've been coming out for several years now, and they really love Roswell and our community.
And we love them back, huh?
And they put on a great show for us. And
so I imagine they're going to bring some of your favorites out, and usually they always debut a new ride or two every year they come out. So
like I
look
said,
for
this
that.
year it's expanded, so we have even more rides.
See it for yourself beginning tomorrow.
Yes.
About 4:00. They're going to open up the carnival tomorrow, and then noon on Saturday. And then Sunday, go to church, do your thing, and then Monday, come on back out.
Right.
I mentioned this. Ooh, we're almost out of time, so I want to mention this real quick. I mentioned at the very beginning, but safety tip. Parents, before your kids walk into the fairgrounds, take your smartphone out and take a picture of them
right before they walk into the fair. That way, if, God forbid, it always happens every year, we get a couple kids that get lost and we have to do and they've got a great protocol and procedures. But if you take that picture right before they walk in and then you guys get separated, when it comes to looking for your child again, you can say, this is what they look like. They're wearing this right now. And that'll really save some effort and time and speed up the process there. So we live in a world now where everyone's pretty much has a smartphone on them. Take a picture.
Absolutely.
And keep that on you. And, you can upload to Facebook or whatever later, but keep it just in case. You need to use that to help people locate your child.
Right, and explain to when you walk straight into our gates, if you would walk straight through, the office is straight back, and show your kids where the office is and let them know that's the safe place to go. Yeah. And then if they get separated, you'll find them there.
Another good idea I hear and like a lot is have your family meeting before you get having fun and busy and say, okay, if we get separated and we lose each other, let's make a plan to all meet at some landmark.
Right.
Ferris wheel, the ice cream shop, whatever you guys want to pick. But pick that. Like, we get lost, all head there, and then we'll regroup right there. So that, come up with a plan. That's all I'm saying, because we know it happens. There's little kids and a lot of shiny, fun things, and you get distracted. Next thing you know, the kid's gone. It happens every year, and the fair and the police and the security do they've got an amazing set of procedures that they enact whenever this happens.
We do, and we want to make sure that everybody's taken care of as quickly, as safely as possible.
But to speed up that process and get children returned, little tips like take a picture like that and have it that way. And they're like, oh, it's this goes by name Johnny. Shirt. He's wearing a blue shirt with a Captain America shield on it and pair of cargo shorts, whatever it is. You see it. So, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share that we just skipped over?
Not that I know of. Check our Facebook page. Check our website. We update it regularly.
Absolutely.
We have some kind of not theme, but we have some promotional nights.
Yeah.
And
I think we're going to have some people maybe even some next week talking like Senior Day and all that stuff, which is Wednesday, if I remember.
Yes, Wednesday is Senior Day.
I don't have the book in front of me. I'm just off the top of my head.
This year we do have a trolley to help move people from the parking lot to the arts and crafts and kind of get them into the fairgrounds a little bit easier, make it a little bit more accessible.
Yeah. So. They can't afford the monorail yet. Give it a few years.
I know. We're very thankful to Crumland, who has this really cool trolley.
Yeah.
So it's better than just a bus. It's
absolutely
cool.
Yeah. So come out, and then, like I said, check out the website, which is very easy to remember. It's the initials for the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, www.enmsf.com.
Yes.
And there you can see the fair book and see all the entertainment, all admission price, all the information you need to know about the fair. You'll find it there. Also, like and follow the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Facebook page. That's going to be your best friend next week, because that one time it rains or that one thing that happens that needs to move everything around, that's where they put that information first to let everybody know. So,
and sometimes it's a deal that we're promoting about wristbands
absolutely.
Or other
Some
things.
special swag or exclusive deals that only available to folks that are following that Facebook page. So if you don't already like and follow it, make sure you do that this weekend so you're good to go for next week.
Absolutely. And we do have an Instagram page that we're getting up and going. We're trying to do some more live posting this year. So
what's that? Social interaction or whatever the term they use, the kids use here. So very good. Well, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the fair.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, 9:58. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
I'm Greg Nybert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative. Richard
Morning, we're taking big risks as first responders navigating this. You have power lines that are down, you have trees that are down, you have a lot of hazards right now.
GOP Clearwater, Florida Mayor Frank Hibbard tells Salem radio affiliate